Right, starting recording.
Well, everyone, hello there. Welcome back. I am so glad to see you. My name is Sean, also known as Swan, and I will be doing your GMing tonight. I do apologize. We have had some held off on recordings due to some people being in and out, unfortunately, at the moment, but I'm glad to have everyone back here. During the last few episodes, I will let everyone know. So the last final battle that you guys probably witnessed was us. Sorry, not us, but the survivors taking down a large totem that seemingly was in control of a mutated eye drake. The adventurers escaped and went ahead and went on their separate ways to collect their funds and start investigating a little bit. After meeting with some mysterious people and getting to know them, it was soon discovered that there were some disruptions at their own ship and new characters to meet along the way. With nighttime slowly approaching on day two, sorry, day one of prior to the council meeting, it is important that our characters stir themselves in the right direction. Unfortunately, in the time that was going between our last sessions, Hunziker, our black dragon, uh, uh, black dragonborn, was seemingly last seen in the middle of the market square before he was swept upon by a large sea of sand just before being attacked by a Harrigan-like man, one that he had previously met before, and its seemingly semi-bio-robotic creature that had gone after him. The survivors, I wouldn't even say survivors, the witnesses said that all that remained after the sweeping of sand had overtaken them was a large symbol on the ground representing almost that of teleportation. The players, unfortunately, don't know where Hunziker has gone off to at this time.
You do realize, of course, that that's going to make him into, like, we have to go rescue him, right?
I wish you luck, as I smile off in the distance. I mean, I know where he is, but that's okay.
And the problem is, out of character, we know we will not be successful in finding him ever, so we can completely derail the campaign by doing so. So we gotta kind of be careful.
I can't stop you. What you do is you, okay? But I will say that I will ask one of our lovely survivors to please describe what happened in the last session during this event, if you don't mind.
I think Naya may be best for this one, just because.
Naya, would you be so kind as to gift us?
Oh boy. Okay. My memory is dreadful, but let's see.
I can help. I can give you hints, but it's just you were the outsider in it, so I think it'd just be perfect.
Yes, I see you here. Why are you meowing? Why meow?
All cats must tell their masters. Yes, my lord.
All right.
What a cat. What a cat. Okay, so let's see. Okay, the session I remember last, unfortunately, was the one that wasn't recorded, where we went to the Oh, right. I remember some of this now. So we got out after the totem. We went to the Don't Ask, Don't Tell? No,
It was the Stay Together Inn.
The Stay Together Inn, right. I'm thinking the Don't Ask, Don't Tell was a different... Anyway, so the Stay Together Inn.
No, that was you and Vale that went.
Right, yes. So, well, Vale and I went there. Between
we were investigating the gal.
Right, we were investigating the woman who
we had met in the original
prison. And then found her again here, and she told us to go there. So Vale and Nia and Mortis, of course, went to the Stay Together Inn, where they found a gentleman begging at the door. They paid him some gold, went in. The place seemed rather bustling. The man behind the counter was rushing about, and And they proceeded to have, well, first they had an interesting conversation over the drinks menu, and Nia got complimented for icing her wine, which is a thing I'm given to understand is kind of verboten, but who knows? Elven wine is just built different, I guess. The blood wine proved to be expensive. The elven wine was relatively cheap, apparently quite good. And then Vale, I can't. How she
Started
actually got?
asking questions.
Oh, yes, Vale did start asking questions. I wasn't quite sure if that was what set him off, but then cue silly riddles and nonsense, and
The drunk bard got it way before the shrouded robe did.
I mean, to be
Well
fair,
done.
the bard is a bard. You put words in front of a bard, the bard is going to figure it out. I mean, really, what was it? Colorful folds reaching for the sky, sometimes plucked by lovers, something like that. The imagery was incredibly obvious to someone who's like writing this kind of poetry and what have you. So the bard picked it up, but only because she has a very specific set of
Taught me
skills.
now, the bard. Next one's going to literally be, it's blue, and I promise you it will not be as easy.
Okay, what are the contexts?
Bard whenever like there's riddles involved.
Oh, that was just it's a specific kind of riddle that I'm halfway decent at. Don't expect me to do any good at logic puzzles. I will immediately cry.
So,
Anyway,
yes,
went
go.
there, did that. Then Vela got asked if she had a name or not, and apparently the answer was no. After that, the lady we were seeking came out of a drinks barrel with ensuing slosh, and yet she was quite dry, and proceeded to have a very enlightening conversation with Vale, mostly, about how she thought Vale was a member of the order of whatever it was. We were also introduced to a lovely series of little barrel golems who were absolutely adorable and whose names all rhymed, but I can't remember them right now. I think there was a soup involved. There was a soup.
They all had some kind of oop in the background.
Yeah, basically. I think there was a soup and a boop. I can't remember the rest of them, but there were a whole bunch of oops, and they were masquerading as people. I mean, they are people, like fleshy people, you know. One of them was even the gent on the outside. And he came in, they all went for a break when we were having this conversation. And, well, we had the conversation. It was relatively fruitful. Then we were told that we might want to go and check on our ship. We went, we did so. Turned out there was an infestation of a puppet parasite, I believe.
At this point, you regrouped with Nox, right?
Yep. And Nox proceeded to be very, very angry. After, we went, we checked, we found out all these things, we met the people, we made sure to inform them that this was bad and should be quarantined, etc. And then Nox, wished to go to the Stay Together Inn, and things got a little bit...
Stay Together Inn is full of people who are known for having information. Vale decided that the best thing to do would be to go get information. So she dragged Nox and Naya back to the Stay Together, yelling over her shoulder to follow her lead at Nox, who'd never actually been, and Nox was contacted by something.
Oh boy. Oh, that's even better.
Yes, Nox heard something from the void that seemed to speak out to him.
Oh right, called him
Troy.
There was yelling about it, and Vale and Naya looked at him funny and kept running.
But Nox did recognize where this voice came from, if I recall.
Nope, he didn't. Well, he
Actually,
did. He was being lied to.
But yeah, correct.
So with that, then, upon arriving at the Stay Together Inn, Nox was initially intrigued and waiting, but then as, in his mind, answers were not being sought after and riddles were being played when the possibility of the entire livelihood of the station that they were on was at risk, he had enough. Threatening very much for information, he actually fired a shot off in Vale's direction, not to hit, to miss, but with that promptly...
It didn't seem like it.
Oh no, well, as Vale could see. But with that, Nox then paid, stormed out, And as he was waiting outside, attempting to cool down, he could hear cheering and jeering going on, which further made him believe that something is afoot and these people are joking around. Promptly leaving, he caught up with Roven, actually, and explained Roven all that had gone on, and both him and Roven had immediately proceeded to perform investigations to figure out how to contain this possible viral outbreak.
Fungal.
Sorry, fungal.
Outbreak.
And I think that's where we left off.
You guys had then gone back to the port to find. My apologies. Sorry, my wonderful people. You had gone back to the port to find one of the sisters, the cleric Rayleigh Stoneshard, caked in blood, as well as several of her assistants. You also had noticed several of the port attendants. By the way, still no guard at this location. Had seemingly quarantined off her office. You guys am I falling apart here? Am I too far back?
It's a little bit too far back. That's when Nox, Naya, and Vale first entered the port. We discovered what happened.
I'm looking at. Other than that, you guys had finished your initial investigation. The night was just closing down as around 8, right around the time that you guys were to meet with Anta. And that is where we will be taking off from.
Oh, and we also managed to go up to the central pillar and make friends with the Dockmaster's sister and have access to their entire workshop.
Yep, yes you do.
So a lot of good things, bit of interesting things, some sad things.
Yes.
And at this moment, no one is aware that one of their team members has vanished.
Yep, you guys would have, as you collected yourselves back towards, I'm assuming, by the way, there was a shopping day. You guys had gone into the city, seemingly to purchase some books into looking into different researches and different memories. I believe Naya had purchased a large amount of romance books, and seemingly is now being hunted down by a more elderly mother trying to get her son, I believe his name was Jeremy, together with her.
Right, because she went to the library and traded one of her music scores for some books for everybody. And then there was the visit to the bookstore. Oh wait, she also got some stuff about undead.
Outside of Naya's knowledge, a small gathering of major fans have slowly been starting to creep upon the city of Omiya 6 as they are trying to now find out where this underground star is. They had heard her music before, but now that people are starting to see more and more appearances, they're thinking this may be her new home base. So outside of her knowledge, this may come up later. We'll cross those bridges together. But you guys, at this point, what are you guys going to go do? It is now around like 7:30.
Vale is sitting off of the bar, out of sight, with a drink that she has pilfered.
Pilfered drink, love it.
I guess Nox and Roven would have been heading back, probably discussing means of quarantine and how... Oh yeah, they were discussing how to possibly follow and track this thing.
Okay.
If I recall correctly though, Roven?
Roven is in deep thought about the situation, as it appears. Naya, what were you doing with your brother?
Hanging out, reading. Actually, I think she might also buy a disguise kit, and might look into helping him disguise himself because he is at the present time visibly undead, and might not be entirely safe for him wandering around, given people are wild.
I have a better map than this. There we go. Oh, well, that's with a lot of more people. So let's just clear that up real quickly. Apologies, folks. I had a computer issue a few days ago, so our Roll20 is having a little bit of complication.
He upgraded. Yay!
I did upgrade. With it came new issues. And while I collect a picture of Mortis, you guys would have returned back to the bar to discuss your many things between each other, drinking as you were. At this time, while I continue, at this time is around the time that Captain Amira would have informed you about the witnessing. Can you guys actually see everything at this time? I think the only one who can't see is our new player.
Yep, I see it.
You know what? It's easier if I just do the maps. I don't have any.
Yeah, at this point, we've been in and out of this place often enough. I say it's legit if we just have full transparency.
We're just going to do that. That's so much easier.
Vale's keeping a very weather ear on everything, even if she has to, like, listen at the chimney.
They hear coughing from upstairs every time they light the fire. And they don't actually see, but your tiny friend keeps lighting the flame and putting it back out again.
I take it at this point, like, just for canon, like, Vale's been here for a while, Nox is just coming back in.
Yes.
Nox is going to see Vale and...
No, Nox is not going to see Vale. Vale is keeping out of sight.
Ah, well.
I lied then.
Nox is going to roll perception. Nat 20.
This is why Vale is on the roof.
Oh, you're not a...
She's not even in the building.
I've been keeping a very weather eye on who's coming and going, and listening as best as I can. But you guys ain't gonna find me unless you're looking real hard.
Unfortunately, Nox just rolled a nat 20 on perception in a room where she's not in. Damn it.
You get an inkling as to where you feel as though she's been in the building. A couple times you even look over to Mama Deck, who's kind of like showing a couple of empty glasses. But she herself has kind of shrugged at you a couple times. More though than that, you feel her presence in the area.
Nox is going to...
You cannot see her.
Nox will take out his notebook. He's going to scribble a note in there saying, I would like to talk and apologize. Head to her room, put it underneath her pillow, and then return to the group.
Now that I'm finally, apparently, ready for D&D, my apologies, it was about this moment that, like I said, that Captain Amira tells you about the events of Hunziker, who has disappeared. It is also about this time that you guys can finally see what has happened to Captain Amira, as she is covered in soot and oil, stains all over her clothes. You can also see what appears to be Clank has missing an arm. He's actually just carrying it in his other hand, but he looks very disappointed about it. And after a while, Captain Amira goes ahead and shuffles onto the large table that you guys sit at. A scroll which appears to indicate something of a large triangle. And she says, after some very heavy investigation, this is how they're getting back and forth from Berth Moon. They're using cloaking devices on their Spelljammers. That's how they're getting past. As she kind of like takes heavy breaths. I'm not good with the running. That is how they're getting on and off the planet. It's spell tech.
Quick question. Which order did she explain all this? Did she explain what happened to her first, and then is it Hunziker?
Nope. She was... Oh, sorry. She explained Hunziker first. It was the first and foremost.
Nox is going to be not listening to her at all. He's going to be just staring down at the ground, slowly circling his drink on the table.
She kind of like pauses for a moment as she stops in the middle of her discussion about the cloak and turns to you and goes, I don't know where he's gone. He is a wizard, though. And I know that the gods may give him strength. But she does come on over behind you and give you a soft hug.
If she would have heard him muttering, he would have said goodbye then.
I don't know if he got the chance. The witnesses had said that it was in such a rush. Even they did not see anything. It was almost as if he just appeared into the crowd and something had gone off in less than a second. For a time wizard, he really knows how to speed things up.
But where'd he go?
And she'll hug you closer.
Really good actor, and this is terrifying.
It's a painful moment for someone who's been. These two have been working together for so long. They've been on many adventures. Half of their work alone was just to find a new way to kick off Vale. As the memories kind of fade through your mind, you think of all the greatest time, all the drinks you had together.
He is doing a really good job holding back tears, by the way.
I think the best thing is to hope that he comes back soon. Because I'm going to miss him too.
I need the moment. And Nox is going to hurry out.
So as he runs past, Vale's just gonna like, having noticed a few things about what the hell's going on, is gonna like beat him in the head with her flask. The alcohol one, not the other stuff. And then vanish behind like the top of the roof again.
Nox, actually, Vale, can you roll me a damage check?
That's a nat 20. I don't want to hurt him.
I need a damage roll, ma'am.
Roll over, roll over,
It's
roll
a
over.
1d4.
Yes, I only got 7.
No,
Got a
that's
7 on a 1d4.
She rolled a
I'm
d20.
incredible like that.
What an arm, they'd say. You have been practicing aiming at the small head for years. For some time now.
And only a 1. I would.
Well, Nox, as you rush out, holding back your tears, you feel a striking pain to the back of your head as your vision moves from forward in front of you immediately down. And you hear the clank of metal as you see a flask hit the ground. Its dented end imprinting that of the back of your head. You feel the small trickle of blood kind of dip a little
It
bit.
wasn't intended to be that intense.
You
A
drew a point
nat
of damage.
20, ma'am. Nat 20 with at least 2 damage.
Now, hold on. Question is, a nat 20 means she, in my mind, would be she threw it exactly with the right amount of, like, that was a...
Yeah, I aimed, like, not necessarily for the back of his head.
2 damage is still enough to take out a quarter of a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with a nat 20, I'd be able to aim perfectly.
You didn't kill him. You just gave him
Yeah,
a hit on the back of the head.
I don't want to hit him in the back of the head. I wanted to, like, just in front of him.
You said back of that.
Oh, okay. Shit. As you were. Great, this is gonna go great for making friends and influence people.
Nox
Is
is...
anyone else?
Hmm?
Oh, go ahead. No, please go.
Sorry, I'm just... Nox would see that, pick it up, and just fucking throw it out into the crowd, then run off. He's going for a trip into the town now, trying to find a quiet corner.
And Nox leaves the scene.
Well, shit, that's my fucking flask, you bastard.
Don't have a semi one, so I apologize. Anyone else have any initial reactions to this information?
Vale's going back to her fucking drink, flicking the bird over the top of the thing. It's like, fine, trying to be nice. Except she's not saying that. She's just, hiding up on the top of the roof.
Naya, Rovan, anything from you two?
Well, that was quite the spectacle, I suppose.
You did hear the clank of metal from outside.
I suspect with Rovin's passive perception, he is very aware of what is going on the roof. Rovin is considering getting up off of the table and going to go find his tree.
Ah!
Naya, anything from you?
Yes.
Honestly, I am having trouble. I mean, it's not.
Yes.
For now, no. I'm
Oh,
just
there we
going
go.
to observe over my
Shit,
book.
I
and be like,
screwed.
oh boy, these guys are sure do anything.
Amira will sit back down and kind of cross her arms and be like, I had my moment earlier. And Clank will kind of put his arm, kind of like as if he were to cross his arms. We have to find you a new tech there, buddy. We'll get that back in place. But I told Dex we may not be able to have our meeting tonight. That may do more for Anta than you think. She is probably still resting. But in the meanwhile, we have to find. With him gone, we'll also need to bolster our numbers. He took, unfortunately, with him his the attunement, and that's going to take a day for me to get that back. So I think this is probably the best time that we get someone else who's able to be familiar with the ship. I did ask the registrar's office painfully if they can assist in locating a new pilot, or at least somebody that has knowledge of ships to
Vale's gonna hop off the roof now.
come with us. And she kind of just stops and takes a large swig. I'm gonna go rest, if y'all don't mind. It's been a long day. She kind of rolls up the scroll. Vale, I don't entirely know what you mean.
Found it. Never mind.
Okay. But her and Clank will return to their room to seek rest for the evening as night comes on. It's about 8 o'clock now.
Oh, good.
Anything from Naya, from Rovan, or from Nox at this time?
Not
Nox.
this time.
But
Sorry.
no, I've done plenty. It's your guys' turn. I gotta shut up for a bit.
Anything from you, Rovan?
Nope, just sitting back quietly observing. Rovin is not a fan of drama.
What else?
Doesn't suit you well. Naya, you or your brother? Your brother looks, to everyone else, he looks like the same undeath face that he's had before, but you can see a glimmer of sadness in his eye. Losing a band brother is nothing good, especially for him who had once fought in a party to see a close connection he only just met literally the other day. It's not fun for him.
Yes.
Speak up, dear.
Sorry about that. Microphone fell away from my mouth. Nia loops an arm around Mortis's, gives him a little squeeze. Like, it's all right. He disappeared. He's probably fine, and he'll probably come back eventually. I hope we can do something for him, but we'll just. I guess we'll just have to see. Be all right. He's pretty
He
tough.
He tries to do his general buck up thing, but otherwise at this time, he'll give you a soft nod.
Knox probably won't come back till sometime around like 8, 9 o'clock.
Knox, you don't remember a forecast for it to be raining. Rain is such a silly thing, don't you think?
Especially on an asteroid.
There's rain on an asteroid. There's water
I
clouds.
was gonna say, yeah, there's bodies of water.
That's an analogy from
Stop worrying about it.
But the night will proceed on unless there's anything against.
No, if anyone's up, Knox will come through the front door. If anyone's there, they'll see him. If not, then he goes right to his room, right to bed.
Vale will eventually come in, notice the note, probably hear the news, and then probably end up sitting in front of the fire with her. Well, probably with a fairly hefty amount of alcohol, and also pissed off that her flask disappeared, and is probably going to try and take it out of. Well, no, she's probably just going to go find a new one.
Okay.
Rovan is going to take this opportunity to catch some meditation. in his
I was about
usual
to say,
spot.
I forgot you're technically not sleeping, you're meditating. Robin, have you fed your eel lately?
The eel has been fed. I'm not sure how it became my eel, but seeing as how nobody else, those that have acquired it have not disdained themselves to care for it, I shall do it in the meantime. He has been fed and is hanging out in his box.
Robin,
He's
you
not.
do notice that there's more activity from the box. It's almost seeming more agitated.
Rovan will examine the box.
It
You
lunges out and eats his
feel-
face.
You
Carefully.
feel like it's making similar. Why don't you give me an animal handling check or an insight check?
Which one would you prefer?
Let's do animal handling.
Stand by. What does a 19 tell me?
It's doing similar actions to when it's hungry. You'd think after watching it, it's grown significantly in size from its petite, small, maybe
Vale
4 or 5
trying to
inches
catch
to
Knox?
what is almost a whopping foot and a half. But as it circles the inside of the barrel, you hear the thunking of it as it kind of hits each side. But the mannerisms are similar to when it's around feeding time.
Rovan will sigh, wonder where we're going to put this thing on the
Mhm.
ship. Go and get some leftovers off the table. Go back. Drop the leftovers in the box. And then
Perfectly
try
fine.
to go back to sleep.
As you begin to put the piece of food into the box, I need a Constitution saving throw.
There goes his fingers.
Whoops.
I have a thing for this.
Yeah, look at little fucking bitey.
What'd you get?
10.
Roll me a 1d8.
Oh dear.
Are we about to have a former space eel?
Now, I apologize to the people. I don't have all my exact sounds set. You hear what sounds like hissing, and as the meat slides from your hand into this pot, you feel it immediately tug away. And as it gets tugged away, your hand and body immediately feel singed as you look down and see 8 arcs of lightning seemingly strike you. You take 8 points of lightning damage as you watch shocking bits seem to arc off of this barrel. You hear thumping as the barrel falls from where you have it sitting and roll across the floor.
Well, that was the thing.
The barrel will continue to move for several more seconds as it seems to be wrestled before finally coming to a seemingly stop. From underneath the lid, you can smell what smells like the beginning of burnt wood. And you can just barely see the eye of the eel pointing out.
Glorious. Robin will pick up the barrel, head outside. We'll find his tree, away from everybody, into the back alley where his tree is. He'll sigh, and then carefully open the barrel, being very careful not to stick his fingers in it.
You open your barrel, and sitting deep inside is the eel, seemingly looking up towards you as if the introduction of more food will be had, but otherwise not aggressive. The inside is completely coated in what seems to be ash and bits of burnt wood.
Robin assumed this and went, "Oh, this barrel's not going to hold very much longer, and I don't have another one to put you in." So he will shrug, take some bits of ration out of his pouch, and pass them over to the eel that he's been babysitting. He was still wondering how he got saddled with this.
I am going to need another Constitution saving throw.
I think our little eel now knows how to hunt for prey.
I need another 1d8.
So Constitution is 17 and 1d8.
Oh, 17?
7.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I didn't know you got a 17. My apologies. You go ahead and fish the ration inside. And what you witness is immediately the eel's mouth latches on and its tail wraps around the bit as if it were to attack prey. As the tail squeezes, you see bolts of blue lightning seemingly leaving the tail spines as it seems to go ahead and wrap around and wiggle down as if floating in the water, but really in through air. It seems to be shocking the piece of ration as it tackles and rubs it down until finally landing at the bottom of the barrel once more, chewing at its meat and eventually swallowing it whole.
Is it bad that I think that's adorable as fuck?
That is pretty cute.
After
you are growing rather quickly.
Well, surprisingly enough, where a natural space eel would usually have more competition to have to fight its own siblings and have to struggle of chasing large and adult prey, you have been easily feeding this creature by hand, allowing successful growth at a much more rapid speed.
Bro.
She's in bed. Leave her alone.
Oh well. Isn't that fortunate for you?
And after a solid couple, I would say almost 30 seconds, it finishes its meal and returns back to kind of hovering midway inside the barrel. You see that its body is now starting to take up about a 50% of the barrel.
Roman will leave the top of the barrel off, sit down underneath the tree, and go back to meditating.
Your eel will peer over the edge of the barrel, but otherwise, as you are comfortable within your most relaxing and yet boring tree, it will relax within its most relaxing yet boring burnt barrel.
Roman will again wonder how he got stuck with this thing.
And quietly approve of why he's stuck with it.
Consider dropping it off in Vale's room.
I don't know if they
Vale's
would have
room
heard
is
that.
also yours, if I recall.
Exactly. That's why he said that.
There's that, and then go back to his tree and continue meditating out there.
And the night will proceed unless anyone else does anything different.
Who is Nox sharing his room with?
You were sleeping your room with
Amira.
Amira.
Amira, okay. I'm sure throughout the night, Nox and Amira are going to talk. Nox may have a drink with her, and if she's up for reminiscing about Hunziger, he's going to reminisce.
She absolutely would
He's
spend the night kind of lightly talking with you about him.
It's not going to be a late night, but it's just one of those things where it like just takes an hour just to get through the pain. He'll mention a few times how he's going to find Hunziker. He swears to God, and
it's been, you guys have been working together for maybe like about a year prior to this happening.
yeah, I'm close to.
For this to occur,
He was Nox's only friend. Like Amira before this was his boss, but even so, he has only been with Amira for 6 months.
This sucks.
Eh. But finally, Nox will pass out.
And so will she, with bottle in hand and compression and Clank slowly trying to figure out how does one get alcohol out of how do they get the drunk?
Oh yeah, Nox will look at Clank and be like, I'll fix that later.
He waves his arm at you and politely returns to sentient stay.
Now, question: Nox has 2 shards on him.
Yes.
Is he visited at all?
You sleep the night perfectly fine.
Not remember if there was a way for him to. No, they said they'd contact him. Damn. All right. Anyone else?
I need to borrow someone real quick.
Ew.
Yeah, I need to borrow some.
Oh boy.
Before the end of the night, who is my victim? Please hold.
He's so cute. Oh, Rovin. A little bit of drama.
Good. I was just thinking him.
You do not. Kaya was legitimately worried when I was role playing that pain. And she looked at me and said, "Are you okay?" Because I was like trying to well up tears and everything.
He had him. It was unnerving.
Warm.
Glad you're joining us, by the way, Keith.
Yeah. Hopefully you like what I've done.
I'm looking forward to having you in, and as you can tell by how this group is, easily welcomed in. Like, for God's sakes, we have Rovin and Naya in this party. Actually, I just realized how sad what this means. Like, Vale, Nox is the oldest party member. Vale's the second oldest, only, well, I guess, by a couple months. And then it's Naya and Rovin.
This is a brand new character type for me. I've never done this particular type before.
I am looking forward to it.
And nothing.
Once we meet you and whatnot, and if you care to share, happy to help out. But if it's one of those things where you'd rather keep it off camera, out of character sort of thing, chat with me.
Keep it on the down low.
Welcome back.
And the morning has started. Crack of dawn has had. There's no poop bags in the front of the building.
We will get Kirk one day.
He is off disturbing another person at this time, seemingly switching their grocery bags.
Oh, is he fucking with their Uber driver? Like the Uber, not Uber Eats. What's the one that you get order food from?
Skip the
Oh,
dishes.
No, not Skip
like a
Dishes.
DoorDash.
I guess yeah. I know there's you could order food from the grocery store.
Oh, Instacart.
Yeah. He's fucking with their Instacart meal.
Yeah, he's fucking with their Instacart meal.
Good God, he's worse than a space Karen.
Anyway.
But the crack of dawn is had. You guys are able to peacefully wake up and find yourselves actually with sleep this time. How will you proceed?
What's today?
Today is day technical 2. Tomorrow is the day of the council meeting.
I guess for what it's worth, Nox will technically wake up, forgetting like that momentary. Okay, yeah, just ready for. And
Were
my
the airs
friend's
kicked out of your
gone.
lungs?
You don't see Hansaker when you return to breakfast. He has not returned.
He'll be a little quiet this morning. Kind of slowly picking at his food and taking a small bite. And
Dex actually has been serving you more food than usual, just concerned that for some reason you may be sick. A couple times she's actually tried to offer you a health potion or two.
Nox,
She's offered even a coalition band-aid once.
Nox, have you seen Hansaker's corpse?
no,
Well, then what are you worried about? Your ally is still. Until you find the proof that they are dead, assume they are alive.
In a manner of speaking.
Nox would open his mouth to say something, but he just kind of closes it. And
In my experience, this seems to be the case more often than not. And you're wasting an exorbitantly large amount of energy in grieving something that may not necessarily need to be grieved.
That was a Roven way of saying get over it.
Nox is going to just quietly take a moment, take a deep breath. Roven, well, I hate the fact you're absolutely correct. And God damn you for it. He was the oldest friend I ever had, and
I will
Hey.
remind you, no corpse is. He is not past tense until proven otherwise.
no, he's not, but he's not here. I sought counsel on him countlessly, and as you said, there is no body. He is not dead, but his presence is missed.
Although I did one time see one of those Star Lancers eat somebody one time. I don't know if there would be, but sorry, bad talk. Sorry, the voices came out. My bad.
There is still some physical remains. Usually, when they consume something, there are pieces left over which can be identified, even be it be a ring on a finger. In my experience, again, when the person disappears completely, it's best to assume that they still exist.
But then what do I do? Do I go and find him? Do I see if I can help him?
How about you start with a scrying spell, see if he's even still on this plane and able to be found.
And if not, there are other planes and other methods that can be searched. However, I will point out that we have other problems to deal with.
Yes, the pressing issue of our of our former acquaintances, is it not? We still do not know what has made it on board the station.
And considering the spread of the speed of the infection spread, we should go about this sooner rather than later.
Fortunately, I am unsure if I can construct some sort of contraption to allow us to scan or identify where it may have gone.
Perhaps start with a cleric.
While that
And-
would be incredibly useful, we have been tracking such things for years without the use of such trinkets.
We have been, or you have been, Robin.
My order has dealt with similar issues in the past.
One of these days, I need to sit down with you. I think I can create something for us to detect these things. I might be able to hook it up to our ship, to the Spelljammer chair. I will need your assistance, though, for how to detect these things, and I might be able to localize its presence, and we might be able to hunt these things down. But that's for a different story, different day. How do we go about tracking this?
Start by interviewing all of those that have had contact and closely examining their watching for erratic behavior.
There was the two gals that came in, the dockmaster, but from what I could tell, she was normal, in charge, freaked out, understandably. Or
Well,
would you
perhaps
suggest we?
Perhaps we should go and examine her and start off with her and work our way out. I highly doubt that we've managed to isolate this contagion at this point.
Oh, God, no! It's everywhere. It could be anywhere, everywhere. We are quite dreadfully screwed.
Indeed, I'd rather not see this asteroid become another lifeless hulk.
Sorry, say that again?
I'd rather not see this asteroid become another lifeless hulk.
There we go. Sorry, you went garbly.
Vale, do you do anything this morning?
Vale's keeping. Why? Should I be doing something? Vale's
Just
keeping
asking.
very much to herself, commenting small, but yeah, she's just I'm not here kind of body language. I'm here, but I don't care, and I'm also not here.
All right. Miss Naya, is there anything that you and your brother are doing this morning?
Hmm.
Did you sleep well?
Sorry, did I what?
Did you sleep well?
Oh, certainly. Oh, shit. Trying to think what Nia would have done. Probably she was up a little later than she probably should have been trying to work on a new song, but other than that, she slept well, woke a little drowsy. She's not. She takes a while to really get going. Probably, um, probably took a little longer than she should have getting out of bed, and promptly like stumbled into a wall a couple of times. Not hard, just noisy and irritating.
Okay.
And Mortis probably was hanging out in the chair. He might have been reading. I think he might have been reading one of the books about undead.
He's been trying.
Hmm.
He's trying at least. Trying to collect himself on.
Doing his best.
Why don't you give me a Oh goodness, what do I even do for this one? Let's do an Arcana check.
Sure. Okay, where is my sheet? Where is my sheet? Where is my sheet? Right, I did have it. Okay. Natural 20.
Oh my god.
Hey, we'll soon be out of them soon enough.
I've wasted this one a little bit, but I mean, you can't know when or where they're gonna strike, so.
I mean, I fucking beamed the idiot in the back of the head with one, so
It is what it is. Sometimes the dice say yes, sometimes they say no. It's completely
why
random.
can't they say it decently all the time?
Because that's the nature of the dice.
I don't like probabilities.
No one does.
As your brother seemingly kind of flips through the book, you see him kind of takes to speed up a little bit as he gets to a new chapter. Almost like he's speed reading. He gets deeper and deeper into investigating over time the pages involved. And after what appears to be a solid minute and a half of him speed reading, you see him clonk the book with a heavy thud. And he looks up and he puts the book down and he grabs your wrist and he pulls you out towards the door should you allow him.
Vale's looking at this quietly under her hood, going,
Nia blinks. It's like, all right, where are we going?
Her.
Oh, all right, lead the way.
And he seemingly seems to pull you along what seems to be a guided. I can't move the tokens and push the button at the same time, so
All right.
on a guided path up and out of the door,
All right.
and almost beelining through the people and deeper into the market.
Well,
and that is the last time you guys see Nia for the seconds. I'm speaking on their behalf before Nia, I ask you.
What happened?
all righty.
But they wouldn't say anything or do anything as
I'm
they
going with
disappear
them.
out.
I'll go with.
You're gonna go with, okay.
Right.
They've come
They are
along
going
with
to
me.
head out the
Least I can do
door.
is to do the other way around.
And the trio head out into the deep. For the ones that remain, where we'll finish where finish do, I'm going to move you guys out for a second. As you guys are eating, The door politely opens, and at our door comes what appears to be an Arakaka. I butchered that probably.
I think you did.
One of the bird people?
A bird person who my name is going to screw up for the moment. Arakaka. And I believe now this is where our newest companion will be
Dude,
stepping
I want
into
to
the
see an
scene.
Ariel. Why the hell didn't I know that this was a thing? Dear God, is it a fucking falcon? Ah!
Wah!
Our Arakaka. This seems to be the restaurant that they mentioned, that the advertisement from the registrar's office mentioned. How will you proceed?
Proceed up to the bar.
I'm-
Grab a seat.
You see what he looks like?
You walk up to the bar and are politely met by an older plasmoid, a older lady who will introduce herself. Hi there. It's wonderful to meet you. Welcome to the Leaky Barrel. Glad to have you along. What drink can I get you for
God
this
damn it,
morning?
dog. Wait, my arse.
Are you looking for our specials? And she kind of goes ahead and starts pulling out the menus.
Yeah, let's do the special today. I'm feeling adventuresome.
Roman, aside to Nox, having observed the newcomer in. I don't know what's going on, but I feel a very strange urge to praise this individual. I think I must be sick.
Fucking hell! Fucking hell! Jesus Christ in a bucket!
The special of the day, she'll let you know, is a wonderful space guppy that was just freshly caught, delectably made. Comes with a nice side lemon, as well as a soft salad and some rice next to it. If you go ahead and get it with the deal, you can also get it with a nice loaf of bread that was just recently cooked and a small beer.
I'll do that.
All of this coming out to approximately, roughly about 4 silver. I believe also you have control of your character if you wish.
How do I minimize the names?
If you go over to the top right, there should be a little wheel, and then you're going to scroll on down to, I believe it's under personalize and display. And I think I totally lied. There are so many options and so little time. My apologies, everybody. Oh, so audio and video, video, and then do name only. You can also, in the personalized, change your name.
Okay, good enough.
But you guys see this beautifully well-dressed Arakaka come on.
You know those moments where like you're trying to be really, really angry, but someone says something that you kind of start snickering, but you're like trying to be serious again?
Is it because of the Arakaka and I'm fucking that up? Or
No, but it's because like Rovin's... Was that in character, Rovin?
Clearly.
Nox is...
I believe somebody may have slipped me something last night. I had some interesting dreams, and I'm still not 100% myself at this point.
Nox is going to snicker and try and do that like, no, I'm broody. No,
You're doing a great impression, dear. Keep going. It's going great. I need to inform you. It's great. It's fucking going. Just in case you weren't aware of how great of an actor you're being, you're doing great.
I'm confused. All right. Anyways, so yeah, that's kind of what Nox is doing. Is he's trying to brood and like Rovin's little
Yeah,
comment
and
there.
you're being terrible at brooding at the moment. That's what Vale's voice comes haunting out of the ether to tell you.
Why do I have people talking to me in all my ears? Oh my god! All right, Rovin, we need to do a ritual and figure out why I can hear Vale in my head.
Because you're feeling guilty about what you did to her, obviously.
She beamed me with her. Anyways.
This
She
level
was
of
trying to
psychic
be
power is
kind.
this level of psychic power is getting way above what you could even initially imagine.
Yeah, indeed.
If
Also,
I may, sorry, go ahead.
Nox, if I may make an observation, you have much much more practice at this whole brooding. You're terrible at it. You're not made for this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Who the fuck is talking right now?
Someone with considerably more experience.
Yes, that we can definitely agree on.
And someone who's in the room with me right now. Thank God I didn't give you.
This has nothing to do with anything I might have said.
Thank God I didn't give her one of my sending stones. Otherwise, we'd hear her on the table just chirping off at us.
There's a reason that in
Indeed.
some other D&D campaigns, I was literally known as the voice from beyond because I was literally chirping at everybody.
Anyways,
Indeed. Now
Wait,
all
wait.
we have to do is get rid of your other tracking devices.
Okay, out of character though, shouldn't the bird be best at brooding?
Very funny. Ha 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 ha.
holy shit, fucking Naya.
I'll sit over here and brood if I want to. I'm
Quote
Birdman.
one of my coworkers, who let you out of your enclosure?
I'm Birdman. I'm brooding.
Birdman.
Okay, man, don't lay an egg.
My name is. I want to
Fucking
call my.
hell.
I want Nox's name now to be Brack. If anyone else catches that reference.
I actually
I didn't hear
entirely
it.
missed that. Could you repeat that?
Brack.
Well, be careful.
Space
no one
Ghost,
throws a
coast to
brick at
coast.
Brack.
Oh.
The mantis, I remember him.
Yeah,
No,
thank you.
no. Just be careful. No one throws a brick at Brack.
Thank you, that's where I was going.
Oh my god. Oh, the pun energy of this group is massive.
My sibling Crimus, I have played what? 4 bards so far? Wait, no. I have an entire list of these. Wait.
You
Which
need
one's most
Of course
appropriate?
you do.
more bards.
No, it wouldn't be Nurgle.
The quiet additional ball.
My brother in Bahamut.
I hate you.
What?
Glorious.
My fellow in Fizban. My nephew in Nurgle. My partner in Pelor. I don't know all the D&D gods, so that's about as far as I've gotten so far.
Nurgle is not a
Nurgle is
D&D
D&D.
god.
No, Nurgle is not a D&D god, but he's just the only one I could come up with for N.
Good
Hush.
god.
My sister in
Yes.
Sarenrae.
Ooh.
That's a
So
good
there's
one.
an Aarakocra.
Yeah. We're off on the table just coming up with puns and my fucking sending stone. Apparently I gave Vale one of them somehow. I guess I touched
No,
her butt.
Vale is just fucking like a psychic and can get into your fucking head.
With bad puns. Excellent.
That's brotherhood. The number of times you guys have come together, it's almost like a psychic 2 cans on a string.
Yeah, exactly.
That-
So
Thank you for that
It's a
mental
big,
image.
it's
I
a
love
big, it's a big sister little brother kind of situation, but we'll leave it there in the minds. Anyway, there's an Aarakocra.
and our entire table is currently making puns and making references.
No, the entire table is staring at the poor man.
So yeah, so Nox is going to look at Robin. It's really easy to get distracted when you have something to look forward to.
What does he look like again?
The
Caw-caw!
Aarakocra?
You don't know, you're not here.
Yeah, but I want to make fun of him for being plumed. And then there will be feather pun.
Eh.
And-
Don't get too far. Don't get too down on him.
Oh.
I hate you. I love you. but I
That
hate
was
you.
smooth.
Fuck.
What
Don't
can
worry,
I
we'll
say?
get the feathers in a ruffle.
I'm a full-fledged graduate of Bard College.
I'd like to go ahead and talk directly to the audience right now. Everyone involved in this small group has a long history, a pun history, and I'm slowly being.
You signed up for this shit. Deal with it.
Please save me. I'm located somewhere in America at this time, and I'm trapped in a basement. They won't let me out. They just keep saying puns to the wood, and I am dying. Thank you.
Thank God he's
You're
not a
welcome.
wood. Thank God it's an Aarakocra, not a woodpecker.
I will kill all of you.
Otherwise,
I
it
will
would be
do
the
it.
leaky barrel. It would be now
It's
the
dead already.
exposed
It's
barrel.
already. It's
Oh.
too late.
You were the
If he were an Aarakocra woodpecker bard, he'd have to be
Oh
a
my
bard.
god,
right?
yes.
He'd be drumming with his face.
You know what?
Honk, 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 honk.
Could be a songbird.
would be a songbird.
A scream chicken.
Quick, someone drop the bass.
Yeah, I love that.
He just starts face planting the wall. Boom, boom, boom.
I wonder if our friend here works in construction. He certainly looks like the crane.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Oh, okay,
Bravo.
okay.
I'm sure he's got an eagle eye for some things.
Oh my god, I hate all of you with so much passion.
Well, I'm telling you what.
Are you
This
assuming
is
that he won't sparrow us?
Stooping to new
If y'all
lows.
start keep beaking off, we're gonna freeze them.
Well, does he appear
What,
to
you
be
assume-
depressed? Because he does look a little bit like a blue jay.
You assume
Like a
that all of
Papa
these
Jay,
bugs
he's
are
fancy.
coming out off on the wing.
Up on a wing and a prayer.
Whoa!
Ladies and gentlemen of the outside world, there'll be a crime committed soon. I can't say which crime, but it might be my own death by my own hand.
Slap his way to do.
Ugh.
So then Eric Cocker walks in and orders food.
And Eric
Yes,
Cocker
this is
walks into a
Or
bar.
walks into a bar.
Says ouch.
Orders a meal and gets made fun of by a party.
That is the quickest companion we've ever had on this series. Thank you very much for coming up, Falcon. Thank you.
Well, you know, when should you go buy a bird?
When a bird
When
comes
it's
to
going
you.
cheap. When it's going
He-
cheap.
He came in and then he falconed off.
You assume that bird is not the word.
Oh, fucking God, all of you.
What, are you
You're
suggesting that we
killing-
stop pecking this up?
Can't stop, won't stop.
Cock stop, alright.
The bird.
So,
God.
if he's a thief, does he break into a house with a crowbar?
Oh, for
Why? Why do you all have these things? No one's asked you. No one's wanted.
Yes,
They
they
did.
did.
You all
They were
abused
waving
and
for
children.
our jokes.
New
If he gets caught, does he dove underneath the couch?
I was gonna say it's gonna be the
He
creaky
might.
floorboard.
The creaky floor bird, more like.
He assumes he wouldn't be a flicker about all these things.
Oh. Okay, everyone. Break scene.
Are
Like,
Are you assuming we won't finish this? Finish
I mean, we're just doing this on a lark.
Nice.
I need more birds. I need more. Oh, I figured it out. This is our cardinal idea.
Yeah.
Cardinal save you.
I don't know, I'm
If-
finding this a little hard to swallow.
If we keep this up, we are going to be experiencing foul play.
Yeah, we're driving
God,
for
I
Swan
hate
Sparrow.
All of us are gonna end up as turkey.
Nesting into this problem.
Well, unfortunately,
Exactly where we need to be.
I think Sean might be going quackers at this point.
Are you
I
assuming
despise your
Robin is
existence and
insanity?
everything you represent.
soon enough, we're just gonna goose him off his chair.
He might be yelling
"Duck
at us.
Duck, duck, quack.
He is
Fun
going
people.
quackers.
We are going quackers.
Come on, people, we need to exercise some restraint here.
Oh.
Oh, we're just cracking this open.
You assume that we're not keeping all a nest of what's going on here. Drake.
Why is there so many bird puns?
Because an Arakaka walked into a bar.
Full circle.
You provided the bird. We provided the rest.
You can't do this.
Oh, God.
I hadn't done anything. I was a nice man. I grew up. I paid my taxes. I went ahead and
Oh.
Flew out of the nest.
I
Our
don't,
poor,
I don't sleep anymore.
our poor
I just
Swan
say things.
is regretting his life decisions.
Well,
He's a
one must
sneaky-
fly over the cuckoo's nest.
I mean, he's the cuckoo at this point, or at least he's going that way.
If nothing else, he's crowing about it a little bit too hard.
So by this point, I'll finish my meal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk over here. Sit in this chair.
All right. First off, applaud everyone. I applaud all of you. That was brilliant.
Because if we don't stop, we're going to be parroting everything.
Oh, fuck off.
I will remember this episode.
You will. I'm recording it.
Swan remembered that.
Swan
How
remember.
long was
Everyone
that?
except-
Like, a good, 10 minutes worth of word puns?
I don't know. I lost track of time.
Excellent.
I just sort of went into a fugue state and started spewing avian jokes.
Indeed was a hell of an exercise.
Started beaking off too much.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, alright.
We've done that one before. Yes,
Mhm.
back it up, boys.
Try and
Alright.
make it stop.
So,
Okay. I actually, no, I'm going to do one more. Quack it up, boys. That one was bad. I had to end it on a very, very bad. Yeah.
I need you to roll a chance die for me. Call high or low to save your body.
because he is ending your soul.
I cannot handle anyone.
I'm gonna call it high. Nope, it's low. I'm dead. Goodbye.
Well,
Goodbye.
as the roof caves in from years of stress. Anyway, so now our cocker walks in and orders food and finishes his meal, while a group seemingly makes fun of him the whole time. Which, by the way, is probably blatant racism.
Yeah, no
And
shit.
somehow does it remotely. Telepathically
Really?
between each members.
I wasn't even there.
Those who weren't there.
You know,
Yes.
you know how we do it? With winks. We're winking at each other Morse code.
That
Very
would take so
forever.
long. That would take so long. That man would have been like, he would have finished his meal, gone home, started a family, died of consumption.
Also managed to eat breakfast.
So, going back a notch, Nox would look at Robin. What was the last thing that Robin said?
Yeah, what did Rovan say the last thing?
I'm not. Nox isn't good at the brooding thing. Well, Robin. Sometimes chickens come home to nest.
To roost.
But
Play to your strengths, my friend. Play to your strengths.
yeah, I'm good at crafting things.
Just not puns.
No, I'm not punny. Funny. I mean funny. Fuck.
Bullshit. A distant cough comes out of the ether.
We really need to have these holes patched.
It is called the Leaky Barrel for a reason.
Yes, but it's not the drafty cauldron.
Oh my god. Eric Cocker walked into a bar.
Are you sure you don't want to change your race there, Falcon?
He's gonna have
I'm going to-
PTSD.
I'm
Ah,
gonna
a
switch
single
speed
image.
soon. I can't.
I think we may have murdered Swan. Alright, give me a
I
sec.
just go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, he needs
Um,
time to remember how to exist.
Do we need to call a 5-minute break?
I think it's now about time to do a 5-minute
Okay.
break, everybody.
I'm sending my dog outside. Be right back.
I am so sorry.
I curse all of you. I curse all of you.
That was perfect. Well done, all.
So welcome to my bird bite character.
I'm glad you're having fun. I feel bad. Well, as y'all are having fun, that's all that matters.
Oh, I have one. I have one. Are we assuming the swan isn't doing his swan song?
What?
Especially with all these puns.
Does anyone have a good YouTube to MP3 converter?
I just use whatever's available.
I know. I don't know which one's like the least sketch. I usually listen to YouTube.com, but like I had another one that I liked and I can't find it anymore.
Sean, I've been using 4K video downloader.
What is that?
It'll download a YouTube video for you, but you could also just strip the audio from it. But the cool thing is you have a new, very powerful machine, so you could run multiple virtual machines simultaneously. Which means that if you're ever worried about sketchy software, you can fire up a virtual machine and run the sketchy software on the virtual machine instead.
We'll have to talk about how to do that one later.
Okay.
Did y'all have fun breaking my brain?
I hope you had fun.
I had fun. I just realized what I had done when a bird literally walks into a bar.
The jokes literally wrote themselves.
I know.
What did you expect? You know the group of people that are playing these characters.
I mean, it wasn't a bear, which would have only been a little bit funnier. But the fact that you guys were so well, concisely prepared, I was not ready for.
You're never ready for the bird puns.
Let me put it this way. It's actually a matter of being able to, like, train your brain that way. It's something I've learned over time. If you can manage to do puns, especially in a different language, your command of language is exceptional. But in general, being able to do that just means that we all have exceptional command of language, which honestly, as a DM, you should be thrilled by, which means we can describe things better for you. Even if it comes with such fun and games as what you just had to deal with.
I'm looking for the appropriate response.
Just
It's somewhere
that's the
between
problem.
madness and appreciation. I myself love and appreciate when my players are so involved in this manner. I am thrilled. I also realize what stirs up when these little things pick up, and I'm like, oh no,
How long was
just
that?
I know, but I was like, oh, just a little bit of dust is kicking up, and then a lot of dust picked up, and I was like, no, stop, no, I don't have control.
Isn't that the great thing about D&D?
It is.
Well, welcome to your players. This is your player.
Welcome to your game, man.
Just as a heads up, in about 15 minutes, my boss is going to be showing up at my house with a whole pile of expensive equipment. So I will have to duck out at that point.
Dude, my boss doesn't show up like that. That sounds awesome.
Yes, but you don't have to go out at 4 in the morning to go fix some random stuff.
I mean, that's like.
Do you have to go to bed at 4 in the morning?
I have to be on the road for 4 in the morning.
Oh God.
3 o'clock.
And worse, I have to shave.
Oof.
Oh no.
I know. I've been working on this one for a while. Now all my progress is gone.
Hey, you need to give it a Valhalla funeral.
I don't have a lake or a raft
He's
that I can
gotta
set on
put-
fire.
I was gonna say he just cuts it off and puts it on a raft and floats it out in the middle of some public pond. It's like someone's pool, someone's fountain. Still
also
fires a
don't-
flaming arrow.
You could potentially.
Yeah, I also don't have my bow
try
at it. So I guess I'm using dragon breath rounds. Just see some maniac shooting dragon breath into a pond. That'll be great.
Oh yes, please, please do.
There'll be a
I'd
bunch
love
of people that don't understand, and then you'll tell a bunch of guys who'll be saying that with beards. I had to bury her. My condolences for your loss there. And they join you.
Oh, dear.
Bagpipes start pulling out.
Somebody starts playing taps
Oh hell no! They're fucking playing metal on the bagpipes.
with fire.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sincerely sorry. This is playing off on a more boring tone today.
I don't know. An arrow car.
Alright.
Or a podcast.
Them. They
A hot
walked
person.
into a bar.
Worse, they walked into our bar.
That is even worse. I will give you that.
Truth be told, I find it a little funny. I kept reading the description of one, and I thought it was like a half human on top and then like bird person on the bottom. And I was like, no. It's essentially all bird person, but they can just talk, like walk like a human.
Be careful the Rick and Morty reference.
I know.
I just envision a rather large rooster, or, a chocobo. That's what I envision. A chocobo.
Do 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 do.
That used to be your ring zone, Z.
It was.
Yes. That was your text tone.
The chocobo sound? Oh god. Okay, but which games?
7.
Figured.
I'm nothing if not predictable on occasion.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's predictable. It's just I recognize it because I played Final Fantasy VII for something like 1,000 hours.
My brother got me Final Fantasy VIII and is still pissy that I haven't like played.
Oh god, 8 is actually one of my friend's favorite game.
Dude,
And,
I ended up with Kingdom Hearts.
Oh
We're just waiting on the
god,
Falcon?
that fucking car. Don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go. Simple.
Please don't get me copywritten struck, please.
Oh, sorry,
now.
sorry. Oh, right, yeah, I forgot. Didn't use like that.
Yeah. No, it was fucking amazing. Damn, girl.
Her voice is lovely, always
Yeah.
has been.
What can I say? Assigned Bard at birth.
I
It was
I
said
don't know
that
what the
when
hell
Nia
I
was first, it was said when Nia's human was first born, even the doctor was like, "Damn girl, what you doing later?" After her first cry, the parents were not
Madam
impressed.
Lord, stop that.
Oh, when he said the doctor, I thought he meant like Doctor Who.
No, I was talking about the physician.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Look, if you really want to get copyright stricken, I'm going to tell you something. I was like 5 when Aladdin came out. I made my dad take me to that movie at the Dollar Theater something like 12 times. I memorized A Whole New World before I was like 6.
My parents lived below the poverty line. And
Mine too, but it was a Dollar Theater, so like we could go
Fair enough.
sometimes.
my parents ended up like learning how to run the VCR exceptionally well. I was very impressed later on when I discovered what technology was. But the point being, my poor father sat there for a month every day for 4 months, that poor man watching Aladdin with us, because I guess that was the first movie that my siblings and I or my sibling at the time and I ended up with. And to the end of the day, he could still recite Friend Like Me and most of the genie's dialogue.
Look, Robin Williams was a gift.
The world is poorer for quite a few people not being here. Robin Williams
Yeah.
is definitely one of them.
Mm.
If this fucker is a magic user, I'll be pissed.
Are we just waiting for a Falcon?
Screw you, he's just a
I'm
normal
here the entire
dude.
time. I'm just waiting to hear him ready to go again.
I guess we're ready to go.
Hey.
All right, well, if everyone is here, And Eric Cochran has come into the bar and eaten a nice meal,
But he does not approach us?
but he does not approach you guys.
He probably doesn't know he needs to.
Yeah, unfortunately, we knew people were. Amira put notes out for us, so he could be just a passerby. Knox
Does
won't
Amira
pay him.
recognize-
Mr. Eric Cochran, you were informed that this was the bar to be meeting someone at. But, that's really as far as that has gone.
Yeah, so I just came in, had a meal, waiting to meet the person, whoever I'm supposed to meet. I was going to give no description of who I was meeting, so
You could ask bartender.
I would say after some time, the bartender would offer come over to you and ask you if you need a refill, sir.
yes, we'll take a refill on the just of the drink. But I'm supposed to be meeting someone here. Do you know anything about that? Been here for a bit now, and I haven't seen anybody other than the group over on that table.
And who was it you were supposed to be meeting, sir?
Was I told so?
You were given the name Amira.
Not the last call.
You were not. He would have been given at least the last call and Amira as
Okay.
the main contact.
Someone by the name of Amira? Is what I was told.
She'll put your drink down before taking your new one. Well, I'm just so happy to let you know that she's right over there. And she'll point towards a wood elf sitting next to a delightful auto gnome as they kind of, seemingly from your angle, seem to be inspecting the port from which his arm had come off. I don't think we can put glue back on that. Yes, I know. I know it's hard to communicate when you don't have both arms.
Knox will be looking at it with his multi-tool out, attempting to replace the object.
Well, thank you. I suppose I'll proceed over there and inquire further.
Please do. And if you want anything else, sir, please order. Feel free to order.
Will do. Thank you. Wait till she goes back to her bar before I stand up and move over.
She'll return back and Knox, can I have a tool check?
18?
You do find as you use your multi-tool that the bits and pieces to reconnect his arm link very well. As you watch the tubes and connecting ports finally link up once more, and you can finally see that Clank actually wraps his arms around you in happiness as he is able to get his arm working once more, consistently opening and closing the flapping feature.
Oh, of course, my friend, of course. Don't worry, I got your back. I'd hate to see you with one hand. Christ. Or
Yes,
should
he,
I say, to the almighty gnome, mother.
We had a bit of a scuffle and quick outing, and his arm got caught in a door. A little too much. Luckily, he didn't
door.
blow up.
Knox is going to look at Clank like, really? A door?
He doesn't want to look at you. Like his head just spins on its axis to the other side.
Like, I would expect a wampa to tear your arm out of its socket, but a door? No one caught the Star Wars reference?
Oh yes, I did. I just didn't know how to pull it in there.
Sorry, I should have said a
Ignore the
Wookiee.
2d6.
I expected
Well,
a
let the
Wookiee to
Wookiee
throw it.
win.
Exactly.
But a wampa works too.
This is not Hoth.
And what do you perceive with new person?
Also, shut up, Mr. Hoth. You ain't been to Hoth yet.
Shh.
You are incorrect.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ah.
probably.
Oh, psychic veil. I have
No,
unfortunately
scraping
been.
off, asshole.
We're just.
Hey, you two aren't here. You two aren't here. Or, you're not together.
No, we're not. How excellent of you to notice this.
I'll approach the one that was stated as Amira. Hello, my name is Aris. I heard your name is Amira, and I was told to meet someone by your name here.
She'll be having looked at Clank's arm and turned. Oh. Well, that was fast. Well, I have to be honest. I'm actually really impressed with the registrar's office nowadays. Yes, and you'll hear the scuffling of a chair as she briefly gets up very quickly to kind of offer a hand out to you. I'm terribly sorry to not have been able to be down there to meet with you. Um, I know proper occasion is usually to at least meet the people in question. Why don't you have a seat? I'm so sorry.
Yes, thank you very much. I will have some.
Nox will pat Amira on the thigh, just calmingly, is like, "Hey, you got this. You used to be a captain. Just take a breath."
Well, common practice is usually at least the hirer to at least be at the registrar's office, and hi, and she'll introduce herself as oh my god, did I actually lose her? Amira. Wow, I actually lost her dang name. Amira Lightfoot.
I don't think I.
She will, because I had to come up with a last name on the second flight. Captain is what she calls it, but she's not really a captain anymore. Just more of a guide. By the way, this is Clank. Nox.
Nox will give a polite bow.
Master Robin. And Mr. Compression.
Compression will kind of give a little.
I'm sorry for the short nose.
But
Thank you. It's actually Amira Thumblewood. Thank you for the one person with the better memory than me.
Thumblewood, thank you, because I
Hey,
never actually
I
had
just
that.
literally looked it up. It's like if he's
I
lost
know,
it,
thank
it's useful.
I know. Anyway, I'm sorry to have such short
Where did
notice.
you get Thumblewood from?
I'm impressed by your speed.
I can get places fairly quickly.
Oh shit, really? I didn't have to
Need
mark down
be.
my notes. I never got her last name.
We were hoping for someone who had a good knowledge of ships, where at least our last companion, as she kind of looks down for a second, he had a very untimely leave, and
Don't-
we were.
No worries, we are not cursed or anything. Just unfortunately, his guild required him.
Understandable. They do tend to do that from time to time. Yes,
what are
I am familiar with ships.
what are your qualifications? What have you known of?
Nox at this point is going to cross his arms and give a very inspecting look upon his face.
I know that look.
I'm crossing my arms. I'm forcing the man who didn't want to have a backstory to make a backstory.
Yo.
I like older women.
Anyway, I've been around for quite some time. I've done much research. Is there anything specific you're looking for? Which in ships and flight? Just in general.
How long have you been in flight for?
I am 13 years in my people's age, which is mid-range for them. I've been many a place. Is there anything specific you're looking for?
What are your skills and qualifications?
I have many skills, many qualifications. Is there any specific skills and qualifications you're looking for?
Have you ever flown a dragonfly before?
Ah, yes, a wonderful little ship that is. It's very maneuverable. One of a few I've flown around, yes.
How large have you flown? And to give you this, there are light ships, medium ships, and large ships. Large ships are usually more known to be for like militaristic or for large carrying capacity. Then there's excess ships, those of the
What's
size
medium
of,
size?
Medium size are more common. Your more common standard ships, and then light craft are
Let's see.
your personal vehicles.
What's the dragonfly considered?
Technically a medium.
I've learned on light ships, but I'm becoming quite familiar with medium-sized ships. Any further than that, I need to
Have you seen-
roll military operations.
Have you met
Prefer
combat?
It's been some time. I'm not unfamiliar with combat, per se.
Have you flown with pirates before?
I've flown with quite a few. I used to
Hey,
do. I I've done a lot of cargo operations, as we would say. Into many places.
Name the pirates you've flown with.
Only
You could
pirates.
do a
Sean.
history. You could do a history check if you like there.
How?
Yeah.
It's not
Oh,
used to this new sheet. Oh, never mind.
okay.
They can go like,
Yeah, if you actually go to your new sheet, and you should be able to
Right.
just click history. That would be a 4. You don't remember anything at all about which pirates you flew with.
I didn't tend to ask names. It was just more of a paycheck.
So,
you
if
didn't
I
get.
understand it correctly, you're not one to ask questions of your employers.
Not unless it's required.
I see. Then your job is simple. You pilot the ship, you go where required, correct?
Can be done.
Very good.
If you require more of me than just flying your ship, that can also be arranged as well.
Oh, and what other skills do you have to offer?
Oh, I can mend ships. I can work. I'm familiar with working in and around ships, but
be comfortable around them.
there are other things. I
comfortable.
am able to do combat and or advanced scouting because I can fly quite well.
Indeed. Those are indeed very valuable skills.
Are you mainly planetary based, or do you usually sail in the astral sea often?
Can do either. I've been both in the astral sea and planetwide dropping off cargo.
Have you ever left the flagellum?
Sorry, which one?
The
I didn't quite get
flagellum. She asked you, have you ever left the flagellum? Which, for context, a solar system is essentially a giant sphere of is a giant crystal sphere, and essentially encasing the entire solar system. The flagellum is the outside space in between these solar systems. Have you ever been essentially outside of the solar system? It's not super common unless you're from another, from going to or from. Some people, some larger companies may go out, but it's not often. We're pretty, for the context of us, Eris, and I apologize for absorbing the conversation for a second. Here is a map of the entire place, and you guys are basically smack near the middle, on an asteroid planet called Omea 6. It's a large style asteroid. But all that black around, that is the crystal sphere that you guys are within. There's several planets, at least. But essentially, have you left this solar system?
No, I've never left the solar system. I've been just working runs in and around. But there's a job in this area, and I just happen to be in this area, so I thought I'd stop by and see what it offered me.
How is your experience in Zero G? Are you able to maneuver?
Oh my god.
It is interesting to maneuver in Zero G, but it is possible, yes.
So if we were to suddenly find ourselves no longer tethered to a plane, you would still remain functional.
Yes, I can plow down to the decking if need be without doing much damage and be able to proceed as needed.
That is an important skill for a pilot to have.
What is your primary weapon?
Sean? I've already decided that yet.
That's actually a question for you. What is your primary weapon?
Now, as an aside, out of character, you can choose not to answer that. You can. You don't have to tell us your whole backstory. I mean, I've gotten away with leaking.
They're just prying for the sake of prying.
Oh, yes.
A little bit.
This is an interview.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know if I can trust this guy. He looks shifty.
Same in Nox. Oh, yeah. Rovin, you know Nox's background. You're a wallflower for that.
Where's my thingy?
In case you haven't noticed, Nox, I'm a wallflower for most events.
Most often, people of your type, they're Eris, are weapons such as like daggers, fist weapons, stabs, maces.
Are you someone that likes to get their hands dirty, or would you prefer the arcane arts?
Well, I can get my claws dirty plenty often, but other than that, primarily I like to use the claws, but otherwise I will use a quarterstaff.
Hmm.
Also like to keep it lightweight. I don't really wear heavy armor. It impedes flying, you know.
Fair enough.
Um.
Well, I'm
Anybody
quite
else?
content with what we're hearing so far. What are your costs?
So what would be like an average? Or do I have to decide this?
When you're on an active job, which they're paid by the job, you can make as much as like 50 gold per day. I will mention we are not on a job actively. So we are essentially on retainer until we get picked up by somebody. But you can be paid whatever spoils come out.
I'm out in the job. As long as there's food, lodging, ability to get places, I don't require a whole lot. Just the
Absolutely.
usual needs as can be.
Accommodations.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If we're out on the job and there's perhaps to be something to be looted and it's not being of use to anyone else, I wouldn't say no.
It's
If we may have a moment to confer.
Absolutely. I'll head back over the fire for now and just see where to find me.
Dex, would you go ahead and get that man a drink for the time? And you'll see the bartender will kind of give a quick smile and nod as she prepares one of their nice ales for you. So, what do you think?
I don't know if I can trust a sellsword like him.
He's not a sellsword, he's a pilot. He flies the ship. We are in need of a second pilot. Nothing he said. I don't trust anybody, but I don't trust him less now having spoken to him.
Given he's not really remembering or really can indicate any particular pirate group he was ever with, doesn't sound like he has strong ties with anyone in particular.
I hypothesize that he mentioned the pirates to appear impressed. I suspect this one is younger and less experienced than he let on, as he was not able to indicate one of the pirate groups or some of his past employers. That being said,
how do we know he's not acting as a spy for one of them?
Very simple. We observe.
Why?
Amir will kind of go ahead, please.
Why let such risk on board?
Because we can observe and we can head the risk off. We are in need of a pilot, and there's nobody on this asteroid that we're familiar with. Correct?
For what it's worth, like, Nox is visibly seeming nervous.
Amira actually looks just as nervous as she kind of leans forward and from her pocket pulls out that schematic for the cloaking device and slides it across to you, Nox. I assure you that when I acquired this, I did not see anyone like him yesterday. But I would prefer to make sure we don't see anyone else. This is not technically legal. And I did not get it down the road.
Indeed, Amira.
As you can see, Plank kind of like showing off his newly attached arm.
Nox, this may be a situation of keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And until we know which one our friend is, we may as well observe and deal with the situation if he should choose not to be as trustworthy as we would like.
It would be nice to have someone with more intricate knowledge of more ships, since our concern is to eventually upgrade.
Nox is going to look very much stuck between a rock and a hard spot sort of thing, because like he wants to upgrade to a bigger ship, but just you can't trust anyone that works with pirates, though.
Nox,
The
give
pilot.
me a history check.
Oh, goddamn. 1 sec. And for what it's worth, Vulcan, this is nothing personal.
I know. This is okay.
No.
What?
23.
When you remember your history of, I apparently left the game. When you remember your history of previous interactions with those such as like the Ravagers, you remember that a great number of them have to have a tattoo on their body. Mostly it's usually on either their back or on the back of their arms.
It's not so much the Ravager's swan. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I
The wink
get
that
you're
I
doing it,
understand.
Yeah.
but I'm not picking up all the pieces.
1 second.
Yes, I apologize, guys. I am not known for my subtle hints. Ah, okay.
Remember the backstory?
I do. I just was.
Hmm?
Have you finished your backstory?
Well, I gotta put a bit more effort in that, but yeah, that's the reason why he's nervous. Just that.
Okay.
That's what I
Nox,
said.
I won't tell. Nox, I won't tell you no. But we do need a pilot, and it would be nice to have someone to at least show on the ship while we're trying to get it attuned. This was not how I would have wanted this.
It is a
But
2-to-1 decision, and as much as admitting that a friend might be gone,
He's
I am-
not gone, says the distant voice. He's just disappeared.
as much as he is gone, I am still outvoted, and he will be a member of our team. So
Maybe he's trying to eat my dice.
Who's trying to eat your dice now?
the dog
The
is
dog
trying to
is
eat.
trying to eat my d20.
Oh, dog.
I thought she'd be blessing it, but apparently she wants to eat it. It's edible, and therefore it's edible, and you
Yep,
know,
she wants
full of
to
food
devour
items.
I say give him a trial. See what he's up to. And we're going to be in the city for a little bit anyway. We're not leaving anywhere.
I am outvoted. He is part of the team. I will not treat him any less than that, as much as I've treated Rovin and Vale and Andigur and Naya. So I just have my concerns. That is all.
Jesus, refilling your drinks before.
Shall I let him know that he's with us?
Probably confirm his rate first.
No.
Agreed. We don't have any job at this time, so
Food and board, and when on the job, he will receive an equal share to all of us, along with loot.
agreed.
Anyone have any complaints about that?
Will work for me.
You'll see Clank's head spin no.
And if there is anything discretionary that he requires, as long as he is part of us and we remain with the ship, as goes with all of us, there is a discretionary cash store of gold that is available to all of us.
she'll stand up and wave Eris back over.
On seeing so, I'll come back over.
Mr. Eris, we've had a strong talk, and if you will have us, we would like to have you.
We consider it done. I'm at your disposal as you need.
Just for clarity, when we're on the job, you'll have equal share of gold and treasures. And when we're off the job, we will do our best to provide food and lodging. And if unavailable, we'll discuss and compromise then. And
Sounds fair to me.
And if there's anything that is required, we have a discretionary income that belongs to the ship. And anything that is bought with that will be the ship. And if you were to leave, it will stay with the ship unless you choose to buy it out.
Sounds very reasonable.
Nox will look at Amira and Rovan, just to confirm.
Did you get a law degree before you left?
My family used to own their own business. I was taught a few things.
Yes, but I didn't know you also knew legal jargon.
Let's actually roll one. Why is there two numbers?
Now, where were you when we were negotiating our last contract? You were awfully silent then, as I recall.
So why is it rolling two different numbers?
So it's rolling as if it were doing advantage.
Uh-huh.
So, but the first number is your standard number.
Okay. That's on.
Nox, with the 16 from Eris, do you think he could read anything off of you?
Nox is being completely upfront. He believes that this is the way to do it. He's trying to be respectful. Nox might not, or does not trust him for other reasons, not because he's been with pirates. Or, sorry, how to phrase this properly.
Scoundrels.
He has been with scoundrels, but he is not nervous because he's just been with any scoundrel.
You have to be a particular variety of asshole to be a scoundrel that Nox will work with.
But Nox is being absolutely honest and trying to give him a fair deal because he understands that sometimes we all have to make the last call before our end, and hopefully we're bring them up from that situation.
Nox, I believe your name was. You seemed a little more hesitant about me. Is there anything else that concerns you? In terms of the past, maybe pirates?
Just concerned what pirate factions you may have affiliated yourself with in the past, that is all.
I hold no bonds with any pirate faction. They were merely a means to an end. Means to arrive, food, lodging.
Indeed, we all find ourselves in situations where we must do what we must to continue.
Rowan. Thank you.
I hope to alleviate any concerns you have. We know if there's anything specific you would like to know or otherwise.
Unfortunately, you've made it quite clear you do not recall the factions you have sailed with, so I do not hold anything against you.
It's good to know. It's very good to know.
You are a member of this team, and just like any member of this team, I will treat you as such, which is, you do not make it home alive, I will take it personally. So I will do everything in my power to make sure that you survive to live another day.
I'm terribly sorry to also mention that several of our members are not here to have greeted you or properly ask questions. I hope this is we won't have any disruptions later, but please do.
But I passively see this looks like Plasmoidion moving along there, Sean.
You saw a little, what seemed to be a much smaller girl, actually about the size of Slime when she was little, running past towards the older Plasmoid who was offering drinks. What little you could hear was that this little girl was asking if she could play with Pigsley, and the older Plasmoid agreed, and she briefly runs out and seems to head out towards the direction of the farming district.
or the torture chamber.
Proceed to ignore it then. Just stay on target.
So simple enough. I am an artificer, for what it's worth, and sorry, I'm just watching my dog literally try and tackle
Not
Kaya's
what I
hand.
wanted.
Oh,
So,
God.
if you're to ever split up, please do remember to talk to me about a sending stone so that we can keep in contact.
That's very smart.
Un-
Should do so.
Unfortunately, our chirps. So, have you told Vulcan about the chirps yet?
I've
Rovan will get a smile on his face and just slide a chip.
If you fucking take that son of a bitch and dig off, I'm gonna
over
stab
to
you in
Eris.
your
Your
sleep!
hatred of the chirps makes me. It's not.
There's
it's
veil
not
from
that-
a distance.
Rovan, one of these days when you pass out, I'm going to tattoo that chirp under your ass cheek.
What?
The joke is on you. I do not sleep.
I
You
can make.
meditate and I can fuck with it!
I was expecting you to say the joke's on you. I'm into that shit, personally.
Her goddess, Lord the Almighty.
That
I
would
would-
be out of character.
Would I know what this chirp says?
Oh, God,
Oh,
that's
yes.
better!
Yes.
These are very common devices. To summarize very quickly, as this is not a common D&D item, but one of my own creation. A chirp is essentially a wristband. It's about the size of your forearm. Very common in the world of FOL, but they are a communication device between a user and their Spelljammer. After a quick upgrade, they can actually be used between those of that particular ship's crew. They are frequently used to essentially say, "Hey, I need to be picked up," mostly so that ships don't get stolen frequently, or to notify when shipments are ready for pickup. It's all about communication. It's essentially a personal sending stone between you and your ship. But they are very common, and I said you would have one. It was not yet linked to any particular ship, and since we actually need to get you, as Amir would say, attuned to the ship, it's actually a best time to go ahead and get your chirp upgraded, or rather get up and linked.
Indeed. Or why? This one is already linked. He can have it. It would be much better.
I will.
You
I would have a chirps, wouldn't I, Sean?
You already have a chirp. It's just an unlinked chirp.
Rovan.
This one is-
I will
this
take
one is
out my
linked.
chirps, place it next to the one that's placed here, take the other one, and says, "This is an unlinked chirp. If you need to replace this one."
Technically, it's linked to the person.
Oh, like that.
Yeah, it's your own personal.
It's your own personal. Like, it has his documentation information inside his. It's your ID.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you'd be essentially giving him your driver's license.
Oh, okay. I was sorry, but I will not. I'll just take the other one. But would it show anything about me to these guys if I just place it on the table? Would it
Are you one to do anything with your history? Do you document? You don't tend to document your travels on your wristband or anything like that. How best does Eris? How do you express your travels at all? Or would you say you keep a very professional mannerism?
I might keep a log of who I've worked with in case I did forget for whatever reason.
I would say that if the others had looked at your chirp, then you guys would notice that he seems to have an extensive. You can see little notches, grooves. You can actually see it's a very worn chirp. This man has been places and seen things.
Oh, good. I was slightly worried by your discussion of church, that he had hauled around a church on his arm.
He's
in
been to
which case-
church. Leave the man alone. You don't know what he's
It's
done,
Jesus,
okay?
LOL.
It's Jesus.
If Nox were to download his chirp file, would he be able to look at it later to identify anything?
If you would let you,
Could Nox be a nosy SOB?
if he wants to.
This is purely your discretion, but if you're letting us take a look at your history, you will care if I upload it to my multi-tool and investigate it later.
I'll slide the trip over to him. I may not remember who I work with because I work with so many. So maybe this will help clear some possible issues.
Nox is going to be literally look very much caught off guard, like, ooh.
This man doesn't feel like he has anything to hide. Is that
Exactly.
serious?
I'll slide it over to him.
Nox
Cruise
will-
as you see fit. I have nothing to hide here. Like I said, I've worked with many pirates, but I may not remember everyone's name, but I have worked with people before.
The attachable port is on his chirp if you want it.
Nox is going to upload to his multi-tool, so through his chirp, so he can inspect it later.
Okay.
He's also going to then make sure that his chirp no longer does not have any malware or tracking devices on it after he uploads it.
You actually do notice he does have the upgrade.
To talk back and forth.
He does have it.
Can I replicate it?
Yeah, but you'll need the materials. But yeah, you could totally replicate it.
How hard are those materials to get?
It's spirit wood. Costs about 100 gold. It's fairly common. You do it down the registrar's office for probably a deal. You guys just never did it. I told you about it.
Well, Nox wasn't there for it. Nox was somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Hey, well, Amira will mention we could go upgrade if you wanted. If we have the money now.
Well, we've had the money for quite some time. The discretionary fund has always been... Oh, wait. We never talked about the discretionary fund, did we, Amira?
No, you fucking didn't!
She
Yeah.
kind of pulls her seat kind of close over to you, Knox, and be like, I don't know if you mentioned to the others how exactly you were doing the funds. I know we were pretty closely knit on the three of us because we were sharing meals often, and that was fine. But I don't think we ever told them about how that all was going through. So I felt a couple daggers at times.
I am
Shouldn't be
incredibly
eyes.
sorry,
Nothing
Mira.
else.
We will have a chat with them later about that because, well, I guess we're almost on the level of a company now. So, okay, yes. First off, thank you very much, Eris. Was that
Yes.
your forwardness is actually incredibly refreshing. So, different. Let's continue on. We will fill you in. Unfortunately, your chirp has the upgrade, where ours do not just yet. But we will go seek out the upgrade so that
Don't.
so that we can all communicate with each other instead of just to the Spelljammer. Then that would allow me to. Yes. Sorry. Welcome to the crew, Eris. I will upload our details and activate your chirp. And with that, Nox is going to attempt to link Eris's chirp to this this cruise chirp system. Like he's
Amir will say,
accepted.
we'll take him to the ship and get him linked up.
Ah, yes.
We still have to attune.
I guess you might as well take a look at the ship to a full inspection. I think we're finally clear of the incident earlier.
Yes, I agree.
And
Hopefully, it's been a decontamination.
Fingers
From
crossed.
what it
And
sounds like.
Roven, I ask that you hold on to the chirp itself so you can get in communication, but if you have any concerns about it, please talk to me after dinner tonight. I'll see what I can do to help you out.
My concerns would require more than an after-dinner conversation.
Nox will hold out his multi-tool. Yes, but as long as we can remain in contact and you feel comfortable, we can make it work. No more needs to be said.
Rogan will shrug, get up off the table, and go into the room. Find the eel and attempt to fasten the chirp around the eel.
Okay, animal handling?
He wants to make it his sub.
Well, I'm stuck babysitting this thing anyway.
You might as well break it You know what? If you can literally be in the middle of a fight and be like, ooh, ah, ooh, and suddenly out of nowhere, a giant fucking space eel comes in crashing through and destroys everyone, I'm cool with that. What was that? Yormanga? Yormanda?
Oh, oh yeah, Yormonger from
Well, the Norse
from
mythology,
some
but
other game.
not Dawn of War, fucking God of War.
Sure you're not dyslexic.
Come on. Roven having a fucking giant serpent as a pet where he can just call and this thing comes in and like, hey, here's big bad evil guy. Hey, look, it's a fucking meat popsicle. I'm game.
There's my
Out of
animal
tw-
handling, Sean.
Your eel seemingly leaves the barrel quite easily now that the lid is off, and kind of floats almost seemingly around you very gently. You seem to hold up your chirp, and it's just starting to fit inside, given your wrist and its body are starting to meet about the same width. So you think at this time it'll fit, but if it were to grow anymore, it's probably not going to be able to stay inside. But as this creature has spent most of its time inside of a barrel, being inside of something else is no different. And you are now having your chirp floating on an eel.
Bosses here. Excellent. The chirp has been dealt with. I will be returning shortly.
Calling Rovan. Who is this? All right, we're going to cut from this scene. To Naya, Vale, and Mortis.
Boy.
Naya, you feel the pull in your brother's arm as he seemingly leads you through the city.
Neither of us has been here for that long, but he knows where he's going, and hopefully it is him and not something.
Come, sister, come with me.
I
As
don't,
he
I'm coming. I don't really have much choice in the matter. She's laughing about it, of course, because she's not scared, but she's a little concerned, and therefore flippant.
Vale, do you do anything as you watch Naya get kind of dragged
I'm just
along by
going
her?
back.
Okay. Are you staying hidden, or are you staying fairly
Kind
close?
of in between. Definitely close.
Your brother seems to have his eyes set forward and no deviation, not even taking a minute to kind of look back as the three of you are seemingly pulled through almost the whole city. It takes roughly about 30 minutes for him to pull you both through the market, next to the preserve, and finally deep into the palace district, pulling you all the way along the outer wall, and eventually leading you to what it looks like an old
What?
corded off church,
Oh,
hidden off against the water's edge. There's not, for being the palace district, this area is actually quite reserved. Not many people are outside. And you notice that the church for the most part is not frequented right now. And as you step through the gates of the church, your brother eventually leads you towards what looks to be almost an abandoned area inside.
In here, sister. Come in here.
all right. Let's see what this is about. She's here, you think?
You yourself don't hear anything.
Nia, trusting her brother's instincts, opens the door. Slowly, quietly, careful not to make it creak too much, and not terribly wide, just wide enough to peek inside first.
I love the very key detail on the amount of openness.
Only enough to get in trouble, not to actually do any damage.
Hush.
Looking inside, you can hear the rush of water that's settling next to the cracked endings nearby. But this church is very abandoned.
Hmm.
When looking on the inside, it feels actually vaguely familiar for a moment. Do you choose to go in? What
Yeah.
do you choose to do?
Nia pushes the door open just a little further, just enough that she can sidle in. It's like, do you, okay, do you feel like you should come with me? Or should I go in first? Should you go in first? She gives him a little punch in the arm. Come on, you brought me here. I'm going to be asking you for details. Details. Detail.
We've been here, sister. We've been here before.
She squints. She looks at she looks in. She looks back at him. Just like, wait.
Vale very
Out of
gently
character. Wait,
comes up behind them.
You
Have
don't
you?
you don't feel like you've seen this building before.
this. Are you
And
sure? I
how do
don't
you
remember
know
this.
so, dead one?
I remember. Do you remember?
Yeah, that
I
doesn't sound fucking creepy at all.
Hush.
Oh no, that was out of character. Sorry.
I think that was yeah. It is delightfully creepy. I'm enjoying the hell out of this. Oh, I love how we have like 2 or 3 different campaigns, well, 2 or 3 different genres of campaign going here. We've got like the survival horror with Otis and Nia, and the sort of office comedy with Knox and company.
Sorry, I'm readjusting for the sake of copyright.
Us. Where? Uh,
Thank you for that image. I didn't need that. Do continue, Naya and Mortis.
He's waiting on your signal.
Nia like opens the door just enough and's like, all right, come on then, let's go have a look. And she slips in and holds the door open for him.
Vale, what do you do watching them progress in?
I don't trust this. I've got a +2 dagger out, and I'm just holding it at the ready. Do I need to stab people? Do I need to throw it? I don't know. Do I need to stay back and pretend I'm not here? Also, I don't know. I got a feeling that shit's gone sideways, and these two don't know how to handle it, and they've held my back, so I got their back. And something's sideways, and Vale is fucking twitchy.
As you progress inside, Nia, the atmosphere definitely starts to kind of give you more of a jolt of memory. You've been not in this place really before, but looking at the one single candle settling over a broken statue and fountain, you definitely feel like you've been in this atmosphere. You look around you at the broken boxes. It's definitely that this was once an abandoned church.
Was it abandoned to begin with, or did it end up abandoned later?
Who are you asking?
You!
I'm not here. I'm just describing the scene.
Does it look like something familiar to anybody who'd be familiar with the main gods?
Vale, you can give me a religion check, and Naya, you can also give me a religion check with advantage.
Oh, that's a 1. Fuck that.
I don't think I have.
You're not Vale, your focus on ensuring that this area is safe is what's clouding your thoughts and memories onto this place. But it is
I
also
think
giving
17.
you an uncomfortable sensation the longer you're standing here. It's actually, you feel oddly warm.
Like, I just had a sunburn all over my back warm, or my blood's too warm and I need to take a ice bath warm?
Like your blood is warm.
For the first time in 250 years.
Well, no, it's not.
Do you remember anything now, sister? Is it anything good coming back?
This
Mortis,
one.
actually, for the most part, the longer you're standing in here, the more you seem quiet for the most part. That's not me shutting you up. I'm just letting you know as the
I know,
character
just
progresses inside.
oh, fair enough. I just thought I had something.
Oh no, you're fine. It's actually
This time, while
Unnerving.
Mortis dragged her here, Nia's got her. Nia's holding onto his hand and just is sort of leading him along because this is the place this is the kind of thing you don't want to get separated during, and she doesn't know what's going on, but she knows it's somehow important, and frankly,
Bard.
I was
Nia
here.
jumps and is like, Vale? What? Where? Hi.
I've been here the entire time.
We were here. I was here. Do you not remember?
What did you play that day?
Nia squints, looks around, pulls out her lute, sings it over her shoulder, runs
I,
a few fingers.
I
Naya.
fought
If
here.
you'd actually check your Discord, Naya.
Oh.
Information!
Lord.
I remember battle. Do you remember battle, sister?
Nia goes very, almost as still as Mortis.
Naya, you feel tightening around your chest.
She raises her free hand to rub at her breastbone, like, I know this. You're right. We have? We have. There was. It was.
She's here, sister. She's here.
Nia takes a deep breath, holds it for a moment, lets it out. All right. And then sort of puts her shoulders back, straightens up. She goes from like uncertain and concerned to outwardly confident and but not confident but not cocky. This is the confidence of a worshiper in front of their god, knowing that they are in some way favored, but she's putting it on a little bit, but she's trying to fake it till she makes it.
You're not a cleric, but you don't want to unimpress.
You know, she has like she has the bardic level of self-control that lets her project a certain image, and this is what she's going for, and that's the sort of she's very much copying this from a cleric she saw once, just sort of while she was wandering around. She happened to it rained. She went into a church, and there was this priestess going about her duties. There was just this air of like just confidence and certainty about her that she admired enough to come back and study her a few times in an extremely non-creepy way. She did also play a few sets, you know, bring money in for the donation box, but she also really wanted to have that sort of persona in her toolbox. So she's aping that right now, doing her level best to look confident and sure and like, but you know, ready to serve. There we go.
Fuck. What are you doing? You're kneeling?
No, Nia is standing,
Right.
but like
Vale's just gonna put her hand on her shoulder and hiss in her ear. The illustrious one mentions that we're not alone. Be careful.
Nia nods just a tiny, tiny little bit. It might be frightening, but it's all.
I'm not frightened. I'm worried for you.
She shakes her head. We can discuss it later.
Fine.
And then she
Be careful.
nods a little and then clears her throat and calls in the my lady. Just very softly, very not hesitant's the wrong word, but
Cautious.
in a way that
Meekly.
not meek, not a little cautious, because this is very much. Well, then again, if the lady's here, they're afraid. But she also doesn't want to be loud. This is a situation that calls for quietness, not silence, but quietness.
Vale will whisper in her ear, quiet is a good thing. Very, very old.
The longer you stand in this room, the more you feel like the outside world around what was once Omiya 6 is no longer there. And your attention draws from the fountain that was broken to the outside courtroom. As the two of you stand in this court, and I completely do that, you look out to see the same woman you spotted in the court in the market sitting on broken rubble. You can also see the tower. The sparkling, shining piece of Omiya 6 is snapped in half, and everything outside is of ruin. Nia,
Oh.
you realize that you are in ruin.
Oh.
And she does beckon you.
Can I see this?
You can.
Do you wish to go?
Yeah. Pauses for a moment. Thinks it through. Squeezes Mortis's hand, lets it go.
Vale
Waiting
gently, like, pats her shoulder. You can do this, Bard.
Nia, actually, she thinks better of letting go of Mortis's hand. Just like, then she turns to Vale, just like,
Take it with
just
you if
hold
you
on
need
to each, hold on to each other. I'm going to see. You might need to approach, but
I'll keep
just
an eye on
wait.
you. So
She,
will the
she
illustrious
nods.
one.
I hear her sister. She's calling.
I know she is. Is she calling for you too, or just me?
And you watch as Mortis leaves your side.
Nia just. She doesn't. She very nearly yelps. Doesn't manage, like, sort of jerks and like immediately follows, because separation, especially in unfamiliar localities. Okay, even if the woman in white is.
Vale's just gonna gently push her forward.
Yeah,
I've
she's
got
going.
you.
She's going.
I'll be
She's
behind
going with a quickness. Yep, Nia is right there behind him.
Mortis actually leans down onto one knee in a bowing position. The
Nia
woman
comes.
who is sitting on the stone is not the one you met once, but it does appear to be a follower.
Nia
And she,
tilts her head a little.
go ahead.
Nia tilts her head a little, then sort of dips into a little bow. We saw you in the market. Hello.
Her head kind of cranes towards you after looking at the destroyed, ruined outside. Vale, from your perspective, everything around you is of a shade of light to dark brown and red, similar to that of what the inside of this room was.
dried blood.
You can no, I was going to say destruction. You can constantly hear what sounds like the breaking of building and stone and rubble. And it makes you very uncomfortable about the fact that you were once just walking through a market, but everything around is now of destroyed value. The lake that you had just walked past is dry bone. And where you listen out into the distance, you can hear this distant battle being fought. The woman stands from her position and approaches both Nia and Morta.
Nia takes a half step forward to meet her. Like, not too terribly much, just enough to keep keep attention on her rather than Mortis. Do we serve the same lady? She cants her tone, curious, cautious. She's a little frightened because seeing her in the market, something screamed wrong, but she's reserving judgment because she wants this perhaps be good rather than bad. She's not expecting it to be, but she wants it to be.
After a solid second, she finally breaks silence and turns to you. Ruin bids thee welcome, O Bard.
Thank you, lady. She's pretty thrown at this point. She's really thrown, so she's sort of stumbling all over herself. All of a sudden, all that bardic confidence has evaporated pretty quickly.
No show needed. She has heard your song, and she is pleased.
Oh, good.
How goes your quest?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I'm doing my best every day. Okay, out of character, I don't actually remember what she was going outside of the obvious.
You remember that she had asked you to play.
Ah, right. So in character, Nia's like, actually, well, I'd say very well. I'm doing my best. And she does have, like, she has pride in her craft, and she's been doing well. I think she's been doing her best. Out of character, my role's been pretty good.
You shine brightly like a moth on the broken moon. And Naya, it is at this time that you notice that you are shining brightly.
Nia looks down at herself, like, peers over her shoulders, like, oh, well then, that's certainly new.
And Vale, as you look towards Nia, you can see, as I had described to you once, she is very visible as
Our
this
child, of course she is.
uh, Nia, you can feel your feet almost sweeping underneath you as you're able to almost float midair.
Huh. Nia laughs quietly.
Sadly, the song is not yet complete. For she had heard you once play it upon the dark times. Your songs are good, but they are missing.
All right. Nia Stone. She looks up. Any suggestions?
'Twas pain that brought the great song once. 'Tis only pain that can bring the song back.
Um,
But fear not. You still lie beautiful in her eyes. And as she kind of steps towards you, she reaches into her illustriously light white gown and pulls out a box about the size of your fist.
It's teeny box.
And from her other sleeve, she pulls out a small scroll. The great lady has done her work and has begun your search for you. She has found a clue towards what you seek. And hopefully, as she turns towards your brother, his blessing. And she holds it out to you.
I thank the lady for her kindness. Nia takes the box.
The box is a standard darkened wood, but it holds a picture of what appears to be a woman with her face covered by both her hands. Symbolism of her majesty. As she once said, forget not our deal, but she will always be with you.
She, Nia just very quiet, just sort of considering the box and the words that she's just heard and the implications of everything.
You actually feel her presence kind of looming closer to you. You don't actually see her even step at all, almost as if she hovers in a similar manner to you. As she gets very close to your face. And you can feel as both of her hands kind of sliding up. For a second, it almost doesn't feel as if that they are human as they touch your face.
Nia stands very still and just lets this happen.
All will eventually find their place in ruin, but none should ever fear it, for we all go there eventually. You are always safe, Bard of Earth, the woman of white has deemed it so. You feel her hands leaving your face as she steps past and then next to Mortis. You watch as she seemingly reaches over top of him, and he seemingly touches the blade, the hilt of the blade sticking from his back, as well as resting her hand on his cheek. You can see her speaking, but you can't tell what she's saying. And after 6 seconds, she let go. She she floats past Mortis And Vale, you watch as this figure passes both these standing allies of yours and floats right to you.
You have no call for me, lady. Neither as your patron.
The smile on her mouth seemingly turns into a frown for just a half second and then enters into a very large smile. She knows you very well.
I have no interest in ruin, as much as I respect your lady. My cause
Why?
is ruin as much as I can. Death brings renewal, ruin brings chaos.
My love, we are all in ruin.
And all in chaos.
Do you not feel it? As she lifts her hand and points towards your heart.
I've known it for long. It doesn't mean I
You,
need to give in to it.
then you should know that you've been here once.
I've been many places, lady.
No, you were born here, and you were sadly given up.
The deep lore, the forbidden lore.
But, my lady, she knows you have your own plans. She agreed to let you back, per the agreement.
Which agreement? I
She,
made that.
her face turns a frown.
Do
That's
I
not
know
mine.
anything of this? Do I remember any of
This is
this?
the first time you heard this, but the longer you speak to her, the more veil that it comes to your memory.
The tower. Right. Is it her?
It looks very much like her, but this woman has her face exposed, or at least half of it. She is dressed in all white, except this
Pardon me,
woman.
ma'am. I never asked for this. Lady of Ruin, Lady of Chaos, Lady of all of this. I never asked for her attention. I'm not certain if it will do any good for me or anyone else. I was never meant to have this. Perhaps I should be grateful for someone as great as she to be watching over me. But I never asked for this.
Her face turns to frown.
I'm sorry. There's a piece of me that ought to be grateful for this, and I know that. But there's a piece of me that still clings to being that child that was lost. And I was never meant for such a wanderer as this.
We didn't like to let you go,
I wasn't
but it
worth
wasn't.
keeping an eye on.
It was a foul deal.
Hopefully not for all
But
involved, I suppose.
I think it created a lot.
Only, well, it depends on whose opinion matters, I suppose.
This is the frown turns back to a smile,
Vale's
and
very uncomfortable and not sure what to do here.
she holds out a hand. May I see him?
Oh, he, of course, be not mine. I'll see if he wishes to come out.
It takes a second, but you do feel Kadros gently
Oh,
passing
wrong
from your
person!
side.
Wrong person! I thought the spirit!
No.
Which of our companions is
Fucking
on
hell!
guard?
I mean, technically both of them!
Means the same. Yep. Not your response was appropriate to both of your
Creatures.
yeah,
I'm going to
but
place a finger on the hilt and go, are you alright with this? Do you wish to speak to them?
You can't actively hear a response from Kadros
No, but can I
at this
get a
time.
sense of him?
I apologize. I'm trying to think of my response here.
No, that's okay. I honestly thought you were talking about the spirit. It's
No,
like,
I
sure,
was-
you can
I was-
talk about the chrome awesome spirit that my like gnome semi-party member is actually like enchanted to be awesome. That'd be fine. You can fold whatever like type of metal you want. You want to see my dragon? What the fuck?
I mean,
Dude, I have
You
too many people asking me about the dragon right now.
very
You
cool
feel-
dragon.
You feel Kadros leave your hand after a solid second, and it seemingly ends up into hers. You see her kind of pulling it up to her face, and after a second, you believe that she is kissing the blade.
Ah,
Before it leaves her face, and she holds it out to you.
He's not mine to take, lady, unless he decides to come back.
He prefers you better.
Only
We
because
offered
I
him a
was-
place once, and he
perhaps
said
was
no.
a fool for not taking it.
who's the
He said he likes his current companions more.
The bard would
But-
be a better wielder than them.
He'll be with us eventually.
I have a feeling, based on your current situation, that most of us will be, one way or another.
In his great eyes, we all. And she holds him out to you.
I touch the hilt again, and I'm assuming he disappears to my waist.
As you reach out to touch the hilt, you briefly can feel something uncomfortable touching your hand,
Such as?
such as a hand that does not feel like a human hand,
Like draconic or
like demonic, like a really weird touching hand. But it does leave hers
things?
as she hands it to you. Your quest will take you many places. She's foreseen that. On that fateful day, when they came, searching for a new, they were the ones
searching?
who sought improvement. You've seen their improvement. Vale, the smell passes through your nose.
It's the fungus, isn't it?
It's not the fungus.
White death?
It smells like rotten meat and rotten milk
Where have I smelt this before?
on the barrel.
They sought improvement for this area.
And the deal was made.
By whom?
For what? For that?
And for what? You've
She
answered
just-
to give me, and you decided not to tell me, and there's people who dissolve in the distance. They are the curse that's been given your lady. And yet there's plenty of people who've actually sacrificed themselves to her. She owes us answers if we're to save the people who deserve to live. I was one of those. He was one of those. If we are to be her sacrifices, then there's people out there who don't deserve it. Give us what we need, please. If she's willing.
And she walks into the area with the fountain.
What do you need?
And as you walk through the door, she's not there.
Vaya Pingulo. Lady in white! At which point Vale is just impeaching the straight up, like, goddess that is there. You're watching this!
Mortis and Naya, as you two finish your deep thoughts, you look up to see the bright shining tower of Omea 6 once more. You hear the water sifting through, and the space gulls just above.
Yeah, startled little turns to Mortis. Oh, all right then. Her accent gets a little rustic because she is genuinely a little shocked. Like, that was deep. Weird.
Sister, I shit myself. It was impossible.
Say again, Falcon.
They had some trouble hearing you there, Mortis.
Just trying to stay with the character voice level. But, sister, I'd shit myself if it was even possible.
Nia laughs, like, just deeply relieved and just socks him in the shoulder.
To think that fucking Falcon is actually way taller than Zahira is even funnier in retrospect.
We had to put Falcon in prosthetic knees to get him to be the same size. It's all part of the
He
acting.
needs to be on his knees and, like, crouch.
And then bending backwards.
Precisely.
Crab walking. Crab walking.
Not even, like, I'm going to slouch, sister.
Okay.
Like, let's go with 3. Fucker is short in comparison to Falcon. It's highly aggravating seeing the 3 of them together.
Jeez Louise.
You need to come out to Alberta. We have a boat. Falcon has a boat.
I first parsed that as Falcon is a boat.
On occasion, some days he wishes, but most of the days he's a Falcon.
And they're always bird.
We are not going there.
I won't make a row about it.
No, I'm in the middle of, like, dear God Almighty, fucking give me answers, so we cannot get into pun zone yet.
Alright, that's fair. Carry on. I'm digging
Vale,
the psychological horror of mini campaign.
Vale, as you grunt in anger from the fact that she has seemingly left your side, you feel Vale, you feel Kadris close to your own hand.
Gesundheit. Yes. Who comes upon us?
Sorry, that's I'm playing the. It's because I messed up all my music.
Don't
this
care.
is no one's walking up behind you.
But Naya and Mortis are still there?
They are still there. Okay, I'm gonna have to change. because you guys are not in a haunted prison. Da, 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 da.
Did
Stop.
ransom.
Your breath, yeah.
Oh, sorry. That's probably my fan, actually.
No, honestly. Hold your breath, dear, for a moment.
Vale, you watch as Kadrith leaves your side and proceeds forward. Hold on. I need to do this right.
Oh, good, because we've turned into like fairy bounds here.
You watch Kadrith leave your side, progress forward. Progress forward. Progress forward. Right towards the wall. And then pass through it.
I'm following. Naya, you could probably breathe.
Like through the wall.
I'm gonna close my eyes and just walk through, trusting that
You smack the wall.
fucker.
Yeah, stifles a laugh. It's like, illustrious one, we might, she grabs Mortis's hand and just sort of tugs him along after. This
I
has
saved
been a
you.
moment.
You'd be great if you could let me come along with you, you bastard.
You actually watch him kind of pass back and forth between the walls several times.
Are you enjoying yourself, sir? You do realize that the voiceless ones are after you, eh? They want to know about whether or not I've known about a dragon. You are made of spirit?
Star stuff.
What seest thou on the other side?
What's on the other side?
What does he see? What do you think that Roven and Nox would love the idea that my sword could pass through walls?
The science!
For science.
Oh no, please no.
What happened?
Well, maybe not what I thought. I mean, I'm not entirely certain what he's seeing, she says to Naya, but perhaps he's pleased with what he's found.
Not sure whether to be pleased or concerned, to be honest. The
Neither am
illustrious
I.
one certainly has his thoughts.
Why would
Is
the
this-
White Lady give him what he needs? Something interesting.
she does have a habit of doing that.
For what purpose? I'm not willing to
Her
pay a
own.
price I already paid.
Perhaps then she's giving you the value for costs already been paid.
It's long since passed. There's no point in paying me back for it. I've already served my time. Perhaps she's giving him what he deserves, in which case I'm all afraid of it. A fan, rather. Dragon needs a bit of time to be out in his own.
Out of character, I want you to know I'm being very, very mature and not making a single dragon D nuts joke, but I am so tempted.
Dear
You
goddess, I need to go to
feel
the bathroom
the
for that.
illustrious one going, oh. I wish I had nuts.
I mean, even
For the
more-
record, that's what he was already.
Level 2 depression.
No, he was a spirit weapon. That's what I was able to have in the first place.
Yes, but now he can pass through non-magical material.
Great, he's a lightsaber I'm gonna throw into a wall and he's gonna be like, what the fuck, woman?
And then he'll just float through and be like, well, see ya.
I mean, no offense, but try the fuck to find a decent ass wielder like me. I mean, the bard'll be nicely able to help you, maybe even her brother, but you won't find anyone else like me.
She has a point.
But otherwise,
Why the
you
fuck are
guys
you able
stay.
to float through walls?
Why wouldn't he be?
Good point. She's gonna go back to the fountain.
It's dry.
I don't
So
care.
just
She's just that's where her supplicant friend, acquaintance person vanished. Yeah,
the last time you saw her, she stepped around the wall.
lovely. Lady in white. If this is one of your shrines, you'd be able to hear me. Yeah.
Naya and Mortis, you watch as Vale seems to call out into the depths of this.
Void, the void. Into the
Vale's
void.
gonna prick her finger and like scrub it all over the fountain.
He's like, that's
Just
I
know, I
His
know.
finger.
I know. Then let them take it. They've taken enough already. Lady, you've taken enough from me. You were there when I riz. Rose?
Rose.
Rose. You've answers I do not. This poor, poor mortal who's getting sick and fed up at the fact that she has to deal with being a fucking mortal, while the rest of you have geologic fucking time enabled ability to see into the future and back. Would love it if you had some fucking answers for her, because she's getting sick and tired of having to do everybody's goddamn destiny bullshit without any actual answers as to why the fuck she's not actually doing anything useful. You were there at my grave. I'd like some answers. Perhaps everyone else can deal with the fact that you're a goddess and absolutely lovely and all that jazz, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that lost everything. You're the one that stayed. Perhaps the Lady of Ruin can deal with the fact that my life fell to ruin, and maybe I was back because of the fact that you had an idea for me. But I'd love to have some idea, some points on the compass to follow. I'm going to not be one of your supplicants, regardless, and I apologize for that. But I'm no good at being goddess born. You called me back again. Give me some reason to trust you.
So to cut the theme for those watching, an undead and his bardic sister stand and watch as a hooded,
Also undead.
angry assassin rogue stands in front
Phantom.
sorry, of a
I mean, hey, assassin.
broken
rogue
fountain
too.
where all you can hear in the distance is the cause of local space gulls and the slowly encroaching midday sun. Vale, you don't hear a response or anything as you put your arms by your sides with anger. But when you look down at where you smeared the blood, you do see that it is gone. I don't know if you got any of that.
Hadros, can I borrow you a moment? Thank you. She's gonna grab the sword by the hilt, quietly bring it up to her wrist, and slit it, and let the blood drip into the
Okay.
fucking.
Yeah.
Let the blood drip into the fountain. I asked for answers on my timeline, not yours, lady. If you would.
Okay. I need an attack roll. And
Nia makes a noise that could be charitably described as a honk at this. And
I want actual, like, fucking... Thank you. I want actual, like, vocal evidence of this. Sorry, attack roll and what?
Attack roll
12.
against your own AC. You
If I fail
find
the
that.
first time, I'm gonna go in for a second.
Go ahead, Falcon, if you will, from your Discord.
Wait,
She
what?
broken, sister. Feel
think
she's missing some memories?
I don't know what's wrong, but this is concerning. Vale. There's
Yes.
I don't think this is necessary.
I want to know why I was chosen for this. Why
Kidding?
the hell I was brought back. She
I
was standing over my goddamn grave.
then she clearly had some idea, but
I
I'm
am
not
not
sure.
good at not knowing. Everyone else was
Sometimes you
taken
just
from me. Sometimes, yes, sometimes you have to deal with the fact that the gods deal on different timelines than you. And that's absolutely fine. Of the 250 years, waiting to know what the fuck I was still stuck around for
Well-
when the rest of those assholes, those wonderful, wonderful people I called family, were not allowed to stick around for.
you've been around quite a bit longer than I
Expected, I know. I look much younger than I thought.
you certainly do.
Indeed, it's the hood. It helps a hell of a lot longer than I thought. Point being, she was there. I saw her. Why was I brought back when the rest of them weren't? This is the first time any one of her variety of people came to speak. I want answers. I want some idea. Why did a dragon attach himself to me? I have no knowledge of these things and I want answers.
Well, I mean, he does seem to like you.
No, he likes you a lot better than I. The only reason he likes me is quite literally because of the fact that I apparently have some leadership skills. I'm reckless and reckless. Kaya's had a couple drinks. I'm reckless and foolish enough that he appreciates it, but he also doesn't because he thinks that I could be better. Which is possibly true, and one day I'd like to be better. But I also want to know why the fuck I was chosen in the first place. It's the first time I've had any answers or an option to find any. She's listening. I want an idea.
Vale, after the second attempt you to attack yourself, you feel the sword pulling away from you as you try to hold your grip onto it.
Gadros, you know I have far more blades than just you. But if you wish not to be part of this, I will not require it.
I guess we'll leave our players here for the moment.
If I don't get an answer, I'm backing off. Quite grouchily, but I'll back
you're-
off.
You're not. I still need an attack roll. at least one that hits you if you're going to keep trying.
19.
Great googly fucking moogly.
We're going to say that Vale will continue to make further attempts.
I'm not mutilating myself. I'm just
I
like,
know
okay,
you're
that's
not.
enough.
I'm going
Fuck
to. I'm just going to say you are, whether or not mutilating yourself, still going to make attempts to contact the woman in white. And after a long progressive, I'll even give you an hour to say before
God
your
damn it, it
level
shouldn't
of
take me
interest.
that long.
Yeah,
I'm good at slitting everybody else's throat out to be able to slit a wrist.
Slicerus? I know Slicerus. Ah!
Sisteress, I wasn't aware she was Catholic. I'm sorry, that was terrible. Please ignore me.
Unless anyone else has anything else.
Give me the fucking answers, you prick!
He's trying to be like curing her as she cuts herself because this is very silly.
What you
I
didn't
just need
hear.
a wee bit more blood, that's all.
Answers are not given; they are earned.
This is enough of an earning. I gave him my bloods by accident, apparently, and now the fucking asshole who brought me back ought to give me some answers. So why the fuck I'm back, you asshole?
Not everything requires a blood sacrifice. Sometimes.
Have you met the cars we work with?
That I'd like to believe, like after hour 2, everyone's just kind of against the wall, including just
Are-
kind of
If it
leaning to
doesn't
the
work with-
side.
If it doesn't work within the first 2 cuts, Vale's just gonna like snarl viciously and stalk out. Like she's not gonna stand there trying to slit her own wrist.
Ask Drew how blood sacrifice went last time. I'm not gonna lie.
And with that, our players return back to the inn?
Yep.
We eventually meet our Arakakra friend who walked into a bar.
He walked into a bar, and then when she comes in, he might actually walk into a bard.
I hate you. Vale's gonna walk in, take one look at the goddamn falcon that's sitting at the table. Amira, this is our new recruit.
Yes, my lady.
My lady.
Hello,
No, not in this word. Lovely. I will interrogate you later, bird friend. She'll stare at Nox for a minute. You son of a bitch decided to throw away my goddamn, flask when I was trying to be a nice person after you fucking shot at me, you son of a bitch. You're lucky I didn't try and throw a rock at your stupid head, gnome. You're not the only fucking idiot here who's hurting. Deal with it. Except that's the one thing. God, can I take the last 30 seconds back?
No, unfortunately,
sure.
you're not a time mage.
Sadly. She'll look at Nox. I'm sorry our friend vanished. You're not the only one who's hurting. But fuck you for shooting at me. I was trying to get you answers.
I think this is a discussion.
She just
better-
straight up storms away and starts throwing meat at the space eel. I will take like 15 points of damage if I need to.
Huh?
From trying to feed the space eel?
Oh.
Okay.
Do you see, Nox? That is how you brood.
Bloody,
I will-
bloodily.
I will say in the distance you guys can hear what sounds like pulses of electricity go off.
Ah!
And the chuckle
no.
of Vale.
Just straight up like, uh-huh. Is that how you need to feed then? I suppose Robin hasn't been teaching you manners.
Can we please roll for damage on Vale?
Oh no, straight up Vale is taking
Yeah.
straight up like 15 points of damage.
Okay.
Vale's like not happy right now.
Rovan, can you roll me 2d8s?
Oh no, I straight up like just put my damage at like 3. I'm like at 3 hit points now based on what I had before.
Okay.
2d8s. Here you go.
That's one way to do it.
11 total. Rolls 65.
I think this is a good place to say you guys continue with your day, preparing for tomorrow's meeting. And as things
Vale
roll
is in a
through,
foul mood.
you all drink and have a merry time discussing your many endeavors and task at hand. Nox, you to yourself proceed to review Eris's past history. Quite impressed by his actual work attire and whatnot.
Vale will also come out with Nox's note, turn it into pieces, and throw it at him. Fuck off. We'll talk later. And stalk back in.
She seems like quite the character, that one.
I love the door opening, something throws out, closes, everyone's looking in the direction, turns back. Is she alright? Yeah, she'll be okay.
Don't worry, as long as you're not on the side of her bitchiness, you'll be safe.
Fuck you!
Yeah,
I'm not
fucking bitchy. I've just had a long ass day, you son of a bitch!
You're
You're
the
gonna
one who
watch
lost
my
fucking
fucking
class,
class, you asshole! I was trying to be nice and give you a reason to not mourn as hard. or drink your sorrows away. But no! We had to grab it and throw it in the fucking. You leave your fucking glass, you bastard!
You know, if
I was-
only there was one of us that was able
I'm
to
going to
cast
fight you
silence.
I was going
They
to make
almost
her a
show up out of nowhere,
flask, but you
punch
know
Roman
what?
in the
It
side
turns
of
out
the
she's an
arm,
absolute
and walk back.
Anyways, let's get
I-
off this fucking rant, and so I can end this recording before any of
They're
this
still
becomes
gonna walk
permanent.
out hearing this. Punch Roman in the side of the